point out that if people have bought a copy of the Amateur Footballer, sensational little football magazine, they will have picked up my selection, because Phil Stevens in his column put us all on the spot, Sue Anderson and myself, during the week, and made us have to select the winner of the B section, the winner of the A section. My record last year, as you know, Joss, was pretty abysmal. Zip 4, didn't pick a winner in the final series. This year I'm currently sitting with 2 wins out of 3 games, so I've turned it about a bit. My form's back in town, and I'm going to say to you that I think this afternoon the De La Salle Football Club will win this football game, despite the conditions that certainly now have swung back in favour of Collegians. Despite their awesome strength all over the ground, they have strength on every line and have been an outstanding football side. But I think the pride of the De La boys is at stake here. I think Bernie Dunn's prepared a very, very desperate side. I agree with Tim Cook that the extra run in the preliminary final has done a few of their players a world of good. Ronchi was underdone, Marnie was underdone. That extra game has helped them a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if De La was somewhere near them late in the game, and that's going to be Collegians' big fear, because De La Salle has been the only side all year that's been able to stand the strong Collegian side a fairly sizable lead and run them down and beat them in one game narrowly, and narrowly go down in the other. So the fact that they may be behind on the scoreboard in the first half, or even first 3/4 of this game, will not deter the De La side, and I think Lee Carlson will not rest easy with any commanding lead, other than one that's absolutely unbeatable, 10 or so goals, because at 3/4 time, if there's only 3 or 4 goals in it, I think De La Salle will frighten the hell out of Collegians and may just take off a very meritorious back-to-back premiership. That's my selection. You've gone to Collegians, so that's 1 each. I think it's time Burnsy put up or shut up.
Just before you go one out of the spotlight, you've put some big questions on me with O'Callaghan and so on. What about Dan's in the forward pocket? Who are De La Salle going to put on the big fellow there?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they swung a very strange move, De La Salle, and I haven't got this from anywhere else, but I think you might be surprised who they might just play on Danzy, and I'm not telling you who it is.
Oh, well, that's easy way out. You've never know who they put on. You'll say, "See, I told you you'd go on there."
Exactly right.
As far as I'm going with Doss today, Mike. I know you're a great judge of the game, and but you're probably not the best tipster of all time. But I think Collegians can win this game. They've been far and away the best side all year. The conditions have swung back to favour them, I believe, and I think with their scoring power more than anything else, I think they're going to win this. And I think Doss, as you were talking about this morning on the radio, on the show this morning, the first quarter could be quite important today. It seems to have been in the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's obviously going to be a very physical time where both sides test each other out, and the matchups are all done, and I'm sure both sides have got something up their sleeve, and Tim Cook's almost alluded to that they'll be throwing a few of their forwards around the place, and probably giving the Collegians backmen a bit of a headache as to who they're actually picking up, but and vice versa. But yeah, you're right. If a side can get the jump, and get 3 or 4 goals very quickly, and it's important that they kick straight. You don't want to have the ball in your forward line for the first 5 or 6 minutes and finish up with 3 or 4 behind. You really do have to capitalise on that momentum you've generated in the first 5 or so minutes. So yeah, the first quarter could be very important.
Well, I just need to remind you too that yesterday Brighton was certainly the favourites, and they went down. Last year North Old Boys were the favourites and De La beat them. The year before Collegians were the favourites and they went down. So there isn't a great track record here for favourites in grand finals despite the conditions, and you couldn't get 2 more disparate conditions than 1990 and 1991.
Well,
and yet on both occasions the favourite was undone by a better prepared, a more desperate, a more determined and a more disciplined side. And so who knows today? I still favour De La Salle, but I'll bow to your weight of numbers, 2 votes to 1. At the end of the day we'll see who perhaps is the better judge.
I'm sure you'll let us know if we were wrong too. Collegians are now out on the ground, so the umpires are all out in the middle. All is in readiness for the A section centenary grand final in this 100th year of CAFA football between Collegians and De La Salle down here at Austin Week Oval this afternoon. Before we get underway, we might cross back to the studio, and remember you're listening to Southern FM 88.3.
I'll put a couple back to back on this one. I don't know, I think it's probably going to be a short one, so
Okay.
We're back here, I think, at Dalston Wick Park.
We certainly are, Michael.
The Collegian side have entered the field and doing their preliminary warm-up laps. Nice tight bunch. De La Salle down at the scoreboard end of the ground, just kicking the ball around, getting a feel for the surface, and getting rid of those inevitable grand final nerves where fumbling of the ball is a feature of the first few minutes. They're trying to get a bit of smoothness in their execution of their skills.
What are the nerves like, Michael, for the guys when they first come onto the ground in a game like this? They must, do they know where they are for the first couple of minutes?
Oh yes, I think keeping in mind that it's not exactly the deafening roar of a AFL ground that they run onto, but it's still an exciting time for them, and these guys are pretty experienced. They've been through a season and played very well, both sides. I think the first few minutes of the game itself is where the nerves are at the worst, and that's where you do see some mistakes made. We're going to see a feature today that the A section best and fairest winner Paul Matten, a very worthy winner from the Therry Football Club, is going to be the coin tosser between these two sides. A bit of a feature that Phil Stevens' innovation to amateur football. We have an on-the-ground toss with a VAFA personnel like Paul Matten, and he's being assisted in those duties by the state captain for the last 3 years, Rob Fuller. 4 years indeed. Rob Fuller's been state captain. Of course, he captains his own old Scotch club and went out with a serious shoulder injury early in the year, fought his way courageously back to try and get Scotch to feature in the finals, was unsuccessful in doing so, but he too has been an ornament to amateur football, Doss, hasn't he?
He has, certainly has, but I'm just trying to decipher his role out there at the moment. He's the assistant coin tosser.
The assistant coin tosser or adjudicator. I mean, if the coin lands on its edge,
he's
or
the one who takes over when it lands on the side.
No, he has been a great amateur personality. He's led the state side with distinction, and he's been a great example of what amateur football and amateur footballers are all about. He's a very respected player by all his peers, not only at Old Scotch but other clubs. And
is Rennie out there, Doss? Is Rennie out there?
Well, they're keeping the tracksuit tops on for a long time,
because Rennie is the captain of the side, and he has to come forward to toss the coin, or it's going to be one of the three vice captains, which is Nick Fraser, Chris Campbell, or Brett Marnie. So, no, I see Rennie there in 33, so he's certainly on the ground.
Right.
So, the two captains, Peter Rennie and Jimmy Bennett, both with VFL experience behind them and a bit of gamesmanship. I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Rennie lost the toss and still called which way he's going to go. That's been done before in a big game. So Peter Rennie's come forward and shaken Paul Matten's hand and Frosty Fuller's, and they're going to toss this coin. We've got a fly past by the Royal Australian Air Force. Everything's being organised
no
here.
Expense here, the VAFA.
We'd only need a parachute jump with the flares attached to their ankles, and we'd have the whole bit. We're waiting for the captain of Collegians to come forward, Jimmy Bennett. And here he comes, being assisted by one of his cohorts in Stephen Mount. Stephen Mount never one to shirk from the limelight.
The sides lining up virtually opposite each other. Looks like a game of rugby at the moment. Toss the coin. Salle kicking to the scoreboard end, and this is the first quarter, which will
perhaps
be
not as important as
Salle to the southern or scoreboard end of the ground, and Collegians to the northern or Glen Huntley Road end of the ground. The scoreboard, of course, is the RACV insurance scoreboard today. This broadcast being brought to you live from Alstonwick Park. We're lining up for the national anthem. While this is on, we might just cross back to the studio. Remember, you're listening to this on Southern FM 88.3.
You're going to, Mike, RACV scoreboard all day? Or
first half.
First half.
Here we are back at Alstonwick Park with just the finishing bars of Advanced Australia Fair. The two teams have lined up for that. Very hard to stand in the commentary box, so I hope Paul Keating and the Governor-General forgive us for not standing for that one.
I think we might get away with it. Actually, if he's there and we can contact him, we should say a very good afternoon to Michael Chavello, who's doing some boundary work for us this afternoon, just as the trumpets go to their final crescendo. Can you hear us down there at all, Michael Chavello?
Yes, Mike, how are you?
It's Graham, actually, but that's all right. I'm well, thanks, Michael. Where are you at the moment, mate?
Past your view,
I beg...
just at the players' entrance.
Okay. All right, we'll be crossing down to you. I can see you there now, waving there.
What's the atmosphere like down there, Michael, at
Oh, it's
ground
great.
level?
Big crowd. They're still pouring in from the road, and the grandstand is full. It's full in front of your commentary area, right around on top of the hills. It's really packed, and there's a great atmosphere down here.
Now, you've circled the ground a couple of times and got a bit of a feel for the atmosphere, so you've been over to the Dental Health Services marquee, I note.
I took a little walk in the Mouthguard maze, and I'll be talking to a few people from the Dental Health Services later on. And it's great if any of the kids want to go over there, and they have a really good over there.
What's the wind like down there, Michael?
No, there's not much wind at all. Not much wind at all down here.
I noticed that Crow was out there for the De La Salle side. Now, they've taken off their tracksuits, so he was one of the suggestions that we thought about. We've got a number that in the Collegian side, 41, that doesn't seem to be identified at the moment. We'll pick that up. Coming to the bench is Mark Lowe, and it looks like Mickey Hagan might start on the interchange for De La Salle.
Oh, 41 for Collegians, did you say, Michael?
No, it's for D-Lo, it's Dylan, I think.
Sorry, 41 for
Dylan.
For De La Salle is Michael Dillon. Michael Dillon, a new player this year, a distant relative to our honorary solicitor, John Francis Xavier Dillon. The Collegian side have gone into a very tight huddle at centre-half forward, just having a last-minute talk by perhaps their captain, Stewie Hinchin. No, he's not their captain this year. It would be Jimmy Bennett having a last-minute talk to the players and the runner there. The other De La Salle players are moving to their positions, and we see McIntosh moving to the centre of the around the centre of the ground. Sheedy, number 32, new player into the side this week from their preliminary final side, Grant Sheedy. Dancy moving down to the pocket. Rennie, of course, has taken Mount, and Mount had a very, very good game on Rennie in their second semi-final. And we've got John Tully that's taken the very dangerous Danzy, who's an exciting mark, a very strong overhead mark, Dos, but he's kicking from anywhere further out than 40 metres, leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, well, the match up there, Sheedy on Schober and Tully, they've obviously with Rennie coming in, or in the side, obviously helping them out there, and one wonders whether he is actually 100% fit, but only time will tell.
Certainly.
As we're just about set here for the
And there'll be no big
A-section
pardons
grand
this
final.
afternoon, where the boundary umpires have run out to their corners of the square, and they're taking up the positions, and Mark Anderson is going to take over for the opening bounce and lead us through the first few minutes of this commentary.
Yeah, so umpire...
Have a good call, Dos.
Thanks very much, Mike. Wayne Hinton now just checking with both captains. James Bennett down there at centre half back. He's lining up on Sam Hunter as expected, and he also now checks with Peter Rennie as he holds the ball aloft and signals to the timekeeper. And we're underway in the 1992 A-section grand final. Pollock and Ronke will contest the first bounce. Ronke gets the first knockout, but Galbraith, it was Hoyle into the action with a left foot kick straight away up towards the 45 metre zone. Rennie kicks it off the ground, goes towards the boundary line, and Danzy and Tully battle for it, and there'll be a boundary throw in some 20 metres out from the Collegians goal, and they're kicking towards the Glen Huntley Road end. So a boundary throw in.
And we do have Irvine has taken up Fraser, as we thought might happen. Irvine coming off the wing to take up the dangerous Fraser.
Danzy, big lead, taps it out the back. Parkin dispossessed the ball, didn't tackle. Got one too high there was Hoyle, but the umpire said play on. Schober uses strength. Left foot kick smothered well there by Fraser. And there's a scrimmage about 40 metres out from the Collegians goal, and umpire Hinton will ask for a bounce. May have got one too high there, Hoyle, but...
letting it go in the early stages.
Letting it go as their ball is put down to the turf. Schober in there doing the ruck. Mount gets the knockout. Plenty of players in underneath there. The ball eventually kicked off the ground. I couldn't pick up by who. It could have been Schober. And it goes through for the first score of the match. It's one behind. We're just over a minute gone in the first quarter.
And this is a feature of Wayne Hinton's umpiring style. He does tend to let the play flow, which I think is good in A-section finals.
He's certainly giving them every opportunity in the early stages, which is what he's got to do, obviously.
So Rennie kicking in now towards the pavilion side of the ground. In the front position was Ronke, knocked away by Pollock. Handballing the ball out there was Danny Smith. Now it's Marnie. Marnie quickly on towards Fraser. Fraser now has got some space. Chips it inside. Handball, right. Gets the ball now. Puts the ball out in front of McLuhan. Good football by De La Salle. Chips it over. Hinchin leads to the ball. Kicked off the ground there by Fume. They're all going in
he
very...
got him high, umpire, if you don't mind. Play on, they call, but
Now
it
the
was
ball
definitely a free kick to De
double
La
back out
Salle.
here to Dillon.
Dropped it.
Tui tried to get it further afield. players just like rugby style trying to barge the ball through.
Well, fumbles
Christian
on the half
Davidson
forward.
clears now towards the half-back flank. Parkin leads to the race to the ball. Well done by that De La Salle player. Couldn't quite pick him up, but Tui now has it. Tui from 45 metres chips in towards the lead of O'Callaghan, but it goes out of bounds on the full. So Hinchin takes the resultant free kick, chips it out there.
Thompson.
Thompson to Galbraith. Galbraith goes to the ground.
Free kick.
Tackle too high, said umpire
Gets the
Simon.
free.
And Galbraith now takes the kick in a very boggy patch out there at half-back. Sends it up towards the wing. Mark spilt there by Collegians. And away they go again, De La Salle. They try and go forward. Scrambly passage of play out there at, on the wing position. And another bounce. Umpire Hinton this time coming up to bounce the ball. One behind Collegians. De La yet to score. 3 minutes gone.
Typical opening to a grand final.
Throws the ball up. De La Salle now.
Through
back
McIntosh.
into attack. McIntosh. Feeding the handball out there was Hunter. Hunter to Marnie, who kicks the ball back in. Through comes Hinchin, very quick and committed to the ball, and he forces the ball up.
Down on the bootlaces, that one.
Typical of Stuart Hinton. Stewie Hinchin dashing out from full back there, trying to take the lunging chest mark, couldn't do so, and the ball stayed underneath him, and there was a bounce, or a throw up, I should say, and Collegians happy to see the ball out towards the boundary, and there'll be a throw in once again, some 30 metres out from the De La Salle goal. They're kicking to the southern end of Elswick Park here. Pollock and Sheedy do battle in the ruck, and not pretty football at this stage, as neither side able to get the ball flowing, and we've seen many ball ups here in the first 4 minutes. Umpire Simon throws the ball up. Another scrimmage. He may have to pick a free kick out here sooner or later, as we'll have another throw up.
Got to start breaking this up, hasn't he?
Oh yes, Delo want to keep it in close in this early stage. They want to push the ball around a bit and body on body.
Pollock gets the ball to the ground. Still a scrambly passage of play, and 4 or 5 bodies diving on the ball as it comes to the ground, and it's a very boggy area there.
Ball hasn't advanced more than 10 metres and 4 ball ups.
Mightn't have too much success here either, as Davidson, very slick handball. Hinchin couldn't get a kick, but eventually they come out of trouble and come up towards the wing. A thumping knock there from Sheedy. Hibbins now has some space. Centreman for Collegians now turns around, swings around on handball on the left hand, and Collegians go forward again. Rennie couldn't take the mark, kicked off the ground by Schober. He seems to be doing a lot of that early in the game, kicking the ball off the ground. Not a bad tactic. Through he comes again with strength. Schober on the left foot, fires in towards goal, and that's the first goal of the final. Well done from Schober. Very strong passage of play. A kick off the ground and then a left foot kick from 40 metres, split the centre.
Yeah, it's score 1-1 here, and 5:25 into the first quarter.
Yeah, very impressive strength by Schober. Then he broke a D-Lar tackle and should have been nabbed with the ball, but just broke through with brute strength and nailed a goal from about 40 metres out on his distinctive left foot.
So
good play,
1-1.
Schober. He's presenting some problems already for the D-Lar defence.
Yes, he's adopting a very good tactic. He's just keeping the ball going forward and knocking it on, kicking it off the ground. Pollock uses the body well, not the knockout, but now Irvine, quick kick up in the air, up towards the centre square line, going Collegians' way. Schober in front, 2 bites of the cherry. Umpire said no mark, play on.
Rough.
Marnie, quick kick out of the pack, brings it back up towards the centre, and a good strong mark taken there. I think that's by Ford.
That's by Lord.
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 And Andrew Lord.
That's Lord. That's Stuart Lord's son, the Brownlow medalist from Geelong.
Campbell on the wing, over to McLuhan. McLuhan now kicks out towards the lead of Tui, but the mark's been taken there by Christian Davidson. Davidson has Hibbins if he wants to switch the play to the member side. But he decides to go out towards the bowling green side. He's got a lead from Pollock, and Pollock takes the chest mark. Now plays on. Handball there on to Thompson. Thompson now runs with the ball, brings it up to half forward. He's got Mount. Big thumping knock from behind there from, that was Smith. Parkin. Now here's Thompson again. Thompson on the right foot. Here's Danzy and Tully, but the ball carries them and through for one behind. So Collegians doing most of the attacking. 1 goal, 2-8, 7 minutes gone.
Certainly doing all the scoring too, Dos.
Well, that's what you usually get from attacking, make some scoring moves. Well done.
So, Rennie, what are we spot on with your comments here this afternoon, Burnsy?
Yeah, I can't help it.
It kicks in, goes to the outer side, which is not helping us too much, but Hoyle, with a burst of speed, feeds it off to Park and kicks it quickly. Had more time than that. Kicks towards the top of the square, and a good mark taken there by Hibbins, running the same way as the ball, and has marked 12 metres out from goal.
That was a terrific act of courage by Hibbins then, because Rennie had no alternative but to come straight at him, and I guess in any other sort of competition, Hibbins could have easily been very savagely met there, Dos.
He was very open, and to his credit, he had his eye on the ball, and he's taken a very, very costly mark here.
And goals.
And puts it through. No problems there for Mark Hibbins.
2-2.
2-2. Collegians. 8 minutes gone in the first quarter.
And already we've seen Collegians settle into this very smooth style, moving the ball into the correct places of the ground. That kick coming in from the outer flank there was correctly positioned right in front of goals for that Hibbins mark.
Yeah, good kick from Parkin, kicking to the top of the square. And we have umpire Hinton with the ball, who'll bounce it in the middle, so it must be reasonably firm in there. It's a poor bounce though, it favours Collegians. Here's Schober, once again with strength. Kicked off the ground there by Pollock. Here's Thompson, feeds it onto Parkin. Parkin again, chips it over. Danzy comes towards it, overruns it, and Tully takes it away. Handballs to Campbell. Campbell runs past the 45-metre line. Handballs back to Tully, which is good play. They've run it out of defence. Can go on again. It's a bad handball though, and intercepted there by Hibbins. Hibbins now gets it back to Galbraith. Galbraith from 60 metres now kicks it up towards Mount. Mount makes possession. A big leap there from Rennie, knocks it to the ground.
Ooh.
Marnie, the ball's in the 10-metre square. Marnie handballs towards the safety of the boundary line and gets it over there, no problems, and there'll be a throw-in.
Boy, what a shocking mistake here in front of us with that bad handball by Tully back again, because he handballed directly to Hibbins, and they were really exposed at the back then.
He spoiled some good work. They certainly ran the ball out well, but it was a poor handball. Let's see how costly it may prove for them as the ball's back in the 45-metre zone for Collegians, but umpire Hinton's going to have to bounce the ball after that throw-in as the ball was hit the ground and plenty of players dived on it. Danzy doing the ruck work. Mount. But it's Hoyle who goes up, tries to take it and go all the way, was tackled. Ball held to him, says umpire Hinton.
Yeah, it's a feature of Stephen Mount's game that I don't agree with. I think it wastes a lot of his energies trying to jump up in the ruck. He's got tall players down there, including a forward pocket ruckman in Danzy.
He jumped against his own man on that occasion. Salle now. We've got the kick off the ground. Fraser in front of Irvine.
Could have been
goes to the ground. Parkin in a bit of trouble here. Knocks it to the boundary line. Umpire said he got rid of it and was still held. And he'll take the free kick. 60 metres out. Tony Parkin. A congested Collegians forward line at the moment. Mount and Rennie. Mount now makes a lead. So too does Danzy. He goes for the Danzy lead. Up he goes. Plenty of DLR players up against him. Here's Schober trying to burst through the pack with strength.
Ooh.
Now it comes out towards Thompson. Thompson got nowhere to go. Handball's back inside. And DLR go for the boundary line once again. In fact, the handball was smothered by a Collegians player there. And it'll be thrown in 40 metres out. Members side of the ground. No members here at Elsternwick, but the pavilion side, grandstand side.
There are members, goal pass and big V members.
Boundary throw in, Wallace. Marnie now heads for the boundary line, but the kick was smothered by Galbraith.
Gee, it's tough in close at the moment.
Marnie, once again, handballs over the head, goes for the boundary line. And there'll be some pretty tired players at quarter time because there has been a lot of packs with 4 and 5 players just diving on the ball, plenty of body-on-body stuff.
That is, of course, to Collegians' advantage because they had that week's break. They're probably a little bit fresher in that department. So
Irvine, from 45 metres, kicks towards the goal square.
Dangerous.
Wallace off the ground. Now Hibbins picks it up and on the right foot from 5 metres out just turns around and bangs it straight through. The opportunist Mark Hibbins and puts through their third goal, 3-2-20. Salle yet to score.
And that's Hibbins' second, and he was just at the right place at the right moment then when the ball got squeezed through the pack and no one between him and the goals. He picked it up and on falling to one knee managed to still kick with his right foot and direct the ball through the goals. So a very important goal. 3 goals, 2-20. Salle yet to open their score. Ball back to the centre.
Coming up on the 12-minute mark, Dots.
So it's a good start. 12 minutes gone, 3-2. Just the start they'd have been looking for. And Hibbins, very good effort from him early in this quarter, playing in the centre. He's kicked 2 goals already. Wallace gets the ball out of the centre. Now it's Wright and Galbraith. who do battle, and Wright takes the ball away from Galbraith, now goes towards goes for a handball out to
Maloney.
Maloney on the left foot, poor kick, and Bennett chips in and takes the mark in front of Hunter. It was a poor kick.
Yeah, he only carried about 35 metres. It was a poor kick. Perhaps the ground's a lot heavier over there than we have anticipated.
Bennett's kick's gone up to half forward. Once again, a big pack of players.
Right in front of the 100 Years Ermina football sign there, Dos.
Yes, the centenary final here this afternoon. And Collegians also...
Yeah, they're throwing the ball up over there too.
Their centenary year. Got away to a good start. Marnie tries to take it away from the pack. Sorry, it wasn't Marnie. He has the ball now. It was Crow forcing the ball out. But Marnie's kick on the left foot was out of bounds on the full. And it looks like Bennett once again will take the resultant free kick. Good looking kick, penetrating kick up the half forward. Schober up high, could have been interfered with. The umpire's calling play on. Marnie underneath the pack, drags it out and kicks toward the wing, and he finds the boundary line. 3-2, 13 minutes gone. 3-2 Collegians, that is, I should say. De La Salle yet to open their account. 13 and a half minutes.
Yes, and I want to get on the scoreboard fairly soon too. It's this first quarter again, Dos.
Boundary throw in. Wallace trying to come through. Players dive on top of the ball once again. Now it's shovelled out. Campbell gets it on there towards Tui. Tui goes up forward. Here's Bennett. Doing well at half-back. Kicks towards the centre. Irvine and Fraser. Good punch from behind by Fraser. Well roved there by Parkin, however. And now but Fraser takes it away from the pack. A loose ball sitting outside the pack. He takes it away, goes on the left foot, and a great mark there by O'Callaghan. And a beautiful left foot pass by Fraser, but a very, very strong mark. He had Hinchin hot on his collar, and he had Hibbins coming back with a fly to the ball, and he had a bit of steam up, and he took a very, very strong mark.
Yeah, great mark by Pat O'Callaghan there, squeezed in between the two Collegians players, and this is a very, very crucial kick for the De La side. Very
important kick. He's kicking on a very, very heavy patch of turf over there. He's kicking from probably just inside 45 metres. He's hooked it a little.
1 point.
And one behind. So a good build up there. Spoilt by a poor kick from O'Callaghan. But perhaps we'll give him a little bit of confidence. A good strong mark. And that's the real first positive attack in the game we've seen from De La Salle so far. 3-2-20. De La Salle are one behind. Stuart Hinchin favouring the bowling green and outer side of the ground. Pollock makes position, got both hands to it and couldn't take it. Scrambly passage of play once again as all players converge on the ball, and Crow has it now, but he'll have to surrender it to umpire Hinton, who has called for a throw up. Big knock there by Pollock. Pushed in the back there, I think a De La Salle player.
Not paid,
and umpire Hinton will take another bounce.
I think while the ball stays on that outer side of the ground, there'll be a lot of time wasting today. Very hard to come out of that area.
This time players favour the boundary line. Once again we see 4 or 5 players diving on top, so
it goes up in the air and they'll just fall on it when it comes down.
Some tired umpires at quarter time. I'd like to know the statistics on how many ball-ups they've had so far. Here's Wallace, feeds it out to Hibbins. Hibbins knocks it further afield. Could have been a scoop, but he got it up there towards the wing. And the ball's forced out of bounds. So no side gaining any advantage in this last minute or so. Throw in right on the wing position. Pollock and Ronke. Ronke wins the knock. Bennett coming through. But here's Ronke taking a mark. A short kick there from the Collegians half-back. The umpire said it wasn't the required distance. And has called play on.
No, I think I disagree with you, Dos. He did make the motion to play on Ronchi and then realised he was surrounded by a Collegians player, 2 players, and stopped. But the umpire had called play on, indicated that Ronchi should have kept going with that action.
So once again, another throw up. Kicked away there by Tui. Goes up towards the half-forward line. And a good mark taken there by Hinchin, is it?
Yes.
No, it was taken by Wright, but he pushed Mick Dillon out in doing so. So Dillon's got the ball.
So Dillon at half-forward now ticks up. Here's the lead from O'Callaghan again. This time he goes for the punch from behind. Tui handballs it out towards Fraser. Now it's with McLuhan. Tackled beautifully there by that Collegians player, and he forces the ball up.
Could have almost been
and that could have been Woolhouse. A good tackle. As McLuhan, he loves some space to run. Once again a throw up, 40 metres out. The ruckmen both go over. Hinchin, a short kick while tackled. Goes out here towards Warner. Gets it over towards Woolhouse. Oh, good tackle. He runs straight into the tackle there. Dispossessed with the ball, and it goes to Ronchi. Ronchi gets it over to Crow. Crow hooks it back with the left foot. Collegians now force the ball out of the pack. A left foot or right foot snap there by Marnie, was it?
Just missed, yeah.
And just misses to the near side for one behind. Having trouble picking a few of these players up on the far side of the ground in the muddy conditions, and the packs are very congested at the moment with 5 or 6, perhaps 10 players around them.
Scoreboard 3-2-20, De La Salle 2 points.
Hinchin once again favouring the outer side. A big leap from Lord, but he went too early. Kicked off the ground there by Warner. Diving on it there, I think, was Campbell. Comes out to Tui. Tui up towards O'Callaghan. Got the both hands on it. Knocked away by Hinchin.
Another ball up.
And another ball up, strangely enough. 25 metres out from goal. 3-2-20, 2 behind Sealar, 19 minutes gone. Umpire Hinton throws it up. Reaching over the top was O'Callaghan. McLuhan tries to dribble one through. Kicked it into the pack of players. Everyone seems to be following the ball at the moment. It's a very scrambly passage, like a rugby scrum, 20 metres out from the De La Salle goal.
It's got to be 15 or 16 players in that little huddle there.
So very, very hard to score. De La will be looking for a quick kick out of the pack or to feed it out to someone. O'Callaghan does the ruck work. Threading his way through here was right, but he's losing territory, and they eventually concede a behind as Hinchin takes it through. 19 minutes gone.
3-2-20 plays 2-2.
Hinchin. Four manning up here by the De La forwards as Wright has made some space and Hinchin kicks to him. Now Wallace kicks up towards the centre wing. A big leap from Parkin and a beautiful mark. Had the sit in front or coming from behind McIntosh. Plays on. Good. Wallace got it back to Wallace. Galbraith feeds it back to Parkin and they're away. They bring it up to half forward. And Schober can't keep the ball in as it's out of bounds. But some good movement there from Collegians.
And a good decision there by umpire Leah Gallagher. She was a little bit out of position, but ran very fast and got in the right position to see that going over the line, only by half a metre.
So the boundary throw in, 60 metres out from goal, just out in front of our commentary booth here as Lord kicks it up towards it's a ball.
Got over their
running
head.
Free in the 10 metre square. First to go back there was Crow for De La Salle, and he is happy to concede a behind. And Collegians now 3-3, De La Salle 3 behind. Nick Fraser makes a lead from the wing position. Hibbins in front.
Good mark.
A wonderful mark there by Fraser. He made a good run up from the wing position to give an option to his full back as he kicks up towards the wing position now, but in the middle of the pack. And it's Pollock, the big ruckman for Collegians, puts them up forward, and Stephen Mount marks 50 metres out. That could be a 50 or 25 metre penalty against Crow. It was silly play. He wanted to jostle Mount after he took the mark, and then he ran through the mark, and umpire Richard Simon has correctly paid a 25 metre penalty. So undisciplined play there from Fraser, and Mount will kick from 20 metres out.
Just reminding people, it's a 25 metre in amateur football.
Mount lines up,
kicked
straight through the middle. So Collegians move further away, 4-3, 27. De La Salle on, 3 behind, 21 1/4 minutes gone.
It's certainly been Collegians' quarter of DOS.
Very much so, Burnsy. They've looked very, very dangerous when they bring it up forward, and already we've seen Mount and Schober, starting to take control on that forward line. And we look at De La, no Pat Mannix up there.
No, I can't see him at all, and he's certainly not the interchange player. So Callaghan's at full forward. Bernie Dunn on the coach's box doesn't seem too perturbed at the moment, so perhaps we're overreacting.
Ronke gets a knockout to McLuhan. He tries to flip it over to Fume. Desperately coming in, Thompson takes it away, gets rid of the ball, but here's Fraser. Fraser now, a torpedo punt kick out of the centre, goes up towards the forward line, 2-on-1 there, but here's O'Callaghan, takes it at the back of the pack, kicks the ball along the ground and puts it through for a much needed goal to De La Salle there first, and they're on to 1-3-9, Collegians 4-3, 27.
Well, O'Callaghan's got a big job today with the responsibility of full forward, and he outplayed easily to Collegians defenders there to knock the ball to ground, recover very quickly. He's very agile, isn't he, Joss, as such a tall player?
He had to rove his own work there. It was a 2-on-1 situation, and the ball came to ground, and he was the first to recover, and the ball did spill over to the back, and he was the first to run onto it and picked it up and very quickly got onto his boot and dribbled it along the 10-metre square and put their first goal on the board. 22 and a half minutes. They do need another one quickly if to go see if they can go on reasonably even terms with Collegians at quarter time. The bounce favours Collegians as Hibben takes it from the bounce, knocks it further afield. Here comes Schober, who's come up the ground, handballs it out towards Irvine. Irvine goes on the left foot and out towards Parkin. Parkin missed what he should have taken, but the free kick's been paid. He didn't pay the mark. Umpire Simon paying a free kick, saying he was held onto the foot, held onto.
Parkin's gone down
while he was going for the mark. Umpire Hinton has called him back as he didn't go around over his mark, and he'll get the ball back at half forward here and try and set up yet another Collegians attack. Tony Parkin missed last season with an arm injury, back playing in a grand final this year. A good looking kick. Here comes Schober, well roved there by Galbraith. Galbraith kicks 25 metres out from the goal. Handball out there by De La Salle. Now it's back with Galbraith, and going back Rennie takes the mark. Feeds it out now to Tui. Handball's on the right. They've got some players loose as he runs it out of the 45 metre zone and kicks towards the wing. Going to the lead there from Dillon. The ball spills to ground. A pack forms once again. Now the umpire will have no alternative but to come in and bounce the ball right smack bang on the centre wing.
I'm a little bit surprised at Delar's move to take that ball to the outer then. They had some space up the centre of the ground to run, and Wright is a great runner.
Big leap from Ronke, knocks the ball straight to the boundary line, and we'll see a throw in just on the Delar side of centre.
24-minute mark. Collegians 4-3-27. Delar Cell 1-3-9.
Boundary throw in by umpire Jimmy Wright, looking after the boundary on that bowling green side. And there is Schober once again, presents himself at centre-half forward, takes a good mark in front of Sheedy, plays on immediately with a handball to Thompson. Thompson into Mount, a good lead and a beautiful kick from Thompson, and Mount has it and will kick from just outside 45. That's the sort of play Collegians will be looking to play for most of the day. Bring it up.
We're seeing an interchange already. Paul Fume is coming off for De La Salle and Mark Lowe, captain from last year.
Mount from 47 metres, hooked across the face a little bit.
Point.
And one behind.
He's coming on. Mark Lowe on for Paul Fume.
So a missed opportunity there from Stephen Mount, who kicked 7 in 2 weeks ago, the second semi-final. Peter Rennie brings it to the grandstand side with a tumbling drop punt kick. Diving on the football there was Smith. It was sharked there by Wallace.
And a very costly miss. He had plenty of space there, and he's pushed it off to the left for a point.
Into time on now. Collegians 4-5. Play De La Salle 1-3.
Rennie has Campbell loose, but a very, very dangerous kick. Chris Campbell was standing on the boundary line as he called for that, and the pass had to be pinpoint. It wasn't. That was over his head, and Danny Thompson takes a free kick. A foolish kick, Mike.
Yes, it was. It had to be, as we would say, committee term, centimetre perfect, and it wasn't. And they've paid the price, and Danny Thompson will bring the ball back in with a kick that was always going to finish up in those points. He ran off and hooked it back, and they've kicked another point, Collegians.
Good strong kick from Thompson, but missed to the near side. Kicked it every bit of the 45 metres.
Rennie will be a little bit more discerning with his kick this time, and he goes right up the centre with a lovely kick. Geez, a good kick of the football.
Ronke just a bit too far underneath the ball on that occasion, and Warner sat back at the back and took an uncontested mark. Mount once again in the front of the pack, and he takes another mark, and he's giving Rennie some problems already.
Hello. No.
So the man on the mark, Peter Rennie, the De La Salle captain, is standing just inside the 45 metre zone, and Mount, who will learn a little bit from his last kick, he hooked it.
What is interesting is the Collegians runner has been on off the ground a number of times, working very, very hard with directions from coach Lee Carlson. Whereas the
46 metres once again.
It's another point.
Across. Touch of deja vu there for Stephen Mount.
The DLR runner has hardly been used at all. Interesting.
Nearly up to the 27-minute mark here at the Elsternwick Park. Collegians 4-7-31. De La Salle 1-3-9.
So
Rennie's been told where to kick this ball by the runner.
Big thumping punch from Hunter, who's come well down the ground. Danzy fighting for the ball on the ground. Irvine now tries to feed it out. Can't do so. Players diving on it. Tui did well to get it out to Campbell, who's got some space to run. He switches play now. Sorry, Wright it was.
Careful.
Out towards
to Crow.
Crow. against two players out there. Does
Oh,
well.
great dash, Craig.
And gets a left foot kick out towards the wing position. Out there for them is Mick Dillon, diving on the ball, but coming up with the ball was right. And Crow following his work up. Well done, cleared it away.
Wasn't a true piece of play by a young player, Crow. Outplayed them and outpaced them.
And Giddy had two players to beat, and it could have been dangerous if he wasn't up to the task. He did very well. Hoyle now has found Parkin, who can run onto this ball. Picks it up well out of the bog and kicks up towards the half-forward line. He's got Rennie and Mount. Mount leads Rennie to the ball. Tries to keep it in with a quick handball, but can't do so as Rennie smothers it off the hand, and there'll be a throw-in.
And I see one of the VAFA personalities, Bruno Conti, North Old Boys fame, down here in front of the grandstand.
Hasn't got any better
commentator's
looking,
box.
has he, Mike?
He hasn't got any better looking, but he's certainly with a very good-looking lady.
Schober on the right boot this time. Kicks towards the teeth of the goals. It's bounced through.
That's a goal.
Yes, Tully was trying to keep Danzy out of the contest, but all he's done is succeed in shepherding the ball through. And Collegians' fifth goal on the board. 5-7-37. Running away from De La Salle on this first quarter, who are 1-3-9. We've played 28 and a half minutes.
Prediction's looking good at the moment, Doss, although it's very early days.
Who kicked that goal there, Doss? I just missed that for a minute.
I think it was Schober.
I don't think so. We'll get that checked out. It was one of those that came out of a pack of players and should never have been a goal. Certainly the De-La defender was there on the line.
So the ball back with umpire Hinton, who bounced the ball over his head. Ronke wins this knockout. Diving on the ball was Brett Marnie and Damien Tui for De La Salle, and Richard Simon has to bounce.
I'd want to score quickly. I think they'll run out of time in this quarter.
29 minutes, approaching quarter time. Pollock wins the knock, but a dash through there by Wright was unsuccessful. He was caught. Warner was the tackler. Thompson now doing battle out there with McCloonan. A vigorous tackle from McCloonan, but Bennett now picks up the loose ball, chips it over to David Hoyle, who's got some space, but the kick didn't find him as it dribbled over the boundary line.
And off the ball, Andrew Lloyd and Mark Lowe, his new opponent, had a little interesting contest.
So perhaps Mark Lowe's been given a job there by Bernie Dunn, replacing Fiume in the first quarter here, as there's another scrimmage and another bounce will result. So plenty of those in the first quarter. Let's hope that perhaps as the players tire a little bit, they can get the ball out in the open and we can see a better brand of football. It's very tight at the moment, and there is the quarter time siren. 30 minutes the first quarter going, in Collegians a 5-goal 7-37, De La Salle 1-3-9.
And we might just swap back to the studio listening on this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3.
Did lead De La Salle 1-3-9 as we're just about ready for the start of the second quarter. The umpires up in the centre and in position, and the players seem to be taking up their positions. Danny, pick up any positional changes at this stage, fellas, or are they all still pretty much lining up as they were, I think?
Well, they play a lot of ducks and drakes, you know, teams these days. They don't always. It really is just 6 play 6 up forward and 6 play 6 up back, and it's not. No one takes up the crosses that are demarked on a board these days. Big huddle there at the centre half back position for Collegians at the moment, with 6 players in an area that covers no more than 15 metres.
It looks like the way that game's going to be played this afternoon. I think it's going to be very tight and a lot of pack stuff. Make your job harder.
Yes, certainly is making it a little bit difficult. But
you can see the DLR pattern, can't you? You've got both pockets well up the ground, nearly at the top of the arc of the 45-metre arc, and O'Callaghan well back towards the square with just Hinchin.
So umpire Simon sets the second quarter in motion here, and De La Salle will be looking for a big quarter here to even things up at half-time, as Marnie gets them away with a kick out of the centre. Very important.
Ooh.
Hunter, ball came off his chest as he was off balance. Off the ground this time, the player there was Maloney, trying to keep the ball in on their half-forward line, but couldn't do so. The boundary line beat him, and we'll see a throw-in from umpire Wright, about 55 metres out from the De La Salle goal. Up high was Pollock. Sharked well there by Thompson. On to Galbraith was good football as they go up towards the wing. A good spoil there by McIntosh. Schober now on the left foot. Kicks up towards Mount. Well done that time by Rennie. Oh, and going in hard there was Thompson. Now De-La have the resultant free kick. Rennie handballs the ball and perhaps gets the Collegians player fairly high after he does that, but the umpire letting it go, Richard Simon. And the ball is forced out of bounds. right in front of the hill on the wing position here.
Absolutely nothing willful in that at all, Doss. Just bodies meeting bodies, good old-fashioned football.
Handball there. Oh, sorry, not a handball, a tap out, I should say, by Ronke. Beats Maloney back over the boundary line, and we'll see a throw in.
Brett Marnie just he's got a bit of a limp up as he walks back in. He has a strange walking gait anyway, Brett, at the best of times, but has had a knee injury this year. I hope that's not bad news for him.
Big leap from Ronke, but a very, very good quick out of the pack there by Galbraith, up towards Mount and Rennie. Ball comes to ground. Wallace now over towards Schober. Schober's clear at the 45-metre mark and kicks towards goal. It's coming back, and it's through. So another good start to Collegians in this quarter also. They kicked their 6th goal, and well done by Matthew Galbraith. He got it out of the pack. Wallace got it out to Schober, and Schober from 45 metres on that trusty left foot, should we say, wobbled one back and put it straight through.
It was going for a point there, wasn't it, Dawson? Just came back at the last minute.
We had a good look at it and did swing back.
That was a deceptive one. It certainly swung the opposite way you'd expect a left footer's kick to go. It was the outswinger, wasn't it, to the right-hander, Doss?
It was a good outswinger and found its mark, and a good start to the second quarter by Collegians. Pollock gets the knockdown. Hoyle comes through, gets the right foot kick, and Wallace, who's playing in front. Thompson with good pace takes the handball and kicks up towards Mount, who's in front of Rennie, and he once again marks 40 metres out from goal, and it'll kick from about 45, so a chance to put their 7th on the board.
Wallace is a big handful for young Danny Smith. Big handful. He's set out a lot of very important linking handballs.
Mount kicks. Goal umpire hasn't moved. 7 goals, 7:49. It's all one-way traffic here at the moment at Elsternwick Park. D-Last stagnating on 1 goal 3.
That was Mount's first, wasn't it, or his second?
No, that's his second, and that's the score on the RACV insurance scoreboard, 7-7-49 to 139, only 3 minutes into this second quarter.
Starting this quarter like they did the first.
There's some ominous signs looming for D-Last Salle, who are in trouble at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter, trailing by in excess of 6 goals. Really have their work to do from here as umpire Simon puts it down. Pollock decides to take it from the ruck this time. Hibbins got one too high from low, said umpire Hinton. Shapes the handball. Now the umpire asks him to play on. He does so, kicks up towards half forward, up towards Schober. Off the hands of the pack. Through comes Parker, knocks it in the path of Mount, but kicking it off the ground was Rennie, who heads for the safety of the boundary line and finds it, and there'll be a throw-in. Just out from the 45-metre line, about 10 metres around, from the Collegians forward line, just in front of the grandstand, in front of the Collegians coach's box also. Mount, the big leap, knocks it down, but Marnie sharks it, kicks it towards the wing. Tui puts right out of the contest.
And there's Mount again jumping up for ruck throw-ins that I don't think are necessary. He's a key forward, he should be playing that role.
Right kick. Danzy, the big leap from the back. Ronke now has it, handballs out wide to Marnie, who's got some space, gets it over towards Crow, who's been one of D-Lar's better players so far. Crow puts Tui under plenty of pressure with the handball. He was under pressure himself though. Here's Pollock. Pollock's kick is smothered. I think that was by Tui.
Yep.
And he decides he'll shovel it over the boundary line.
A great intercepting smother by Tui then, and gathered the rebound as well.
Throw in. Pollock wins the knock. Coming through there was Warner, run into his own player in right. But there's been a free kick picked out and it's going to Warner. Kick towards the lead of Mount. Mount in front of...
It's a lovely weighted kick.
He's got Tully on him now. He took it on the chest. Plays on now, Mount. Kicks from about 55 metres out. It's gone all the way. The big leap from behind was from Danzy.
Goal.
But the ball's carried him also and carried the pack, and a big goal there from Stephen Mount from outside 45. No question about that, and a beautiful long kick. And he put their 8th on the board.
It was a great opportunistic effort by Mount because he saw that the player on his mark had been struck accidentally in the eye and couldn't watch him carefully, so he played on around him, wheeled off, gained an extra 5 or 6 metres, which was all he needed to get that ball through the goal. So well played by Stephen Mount. Quick to seize that opportunity.
So a switch there from D-Last Salle. They've swapped Tully onto Mount, although McIntosh has gone back onto him now while Tully recovers from that injury. The ball's back in the centre. Scrimmage develops. Campbell gets a quick kick out and gets D-Last Salle away. Now with the football is Hunter. Hunter now ducking back into the centre. McLunan On to Marnie. Marnie inside 45 goes to
Missed.
goal and misses to the far side, one behind.
Yes, RACV Insurance Scoreboard shows Collegians 8-7-55, playing De La Salle 1-3-9 at the 6-minute mark into the second quarter.
So Stewie Hibbins makes some space on his own on that outer side, but now he decides the shortest way to go is straight up the middle.
And they're playing confidently enough to do that too.
Hunter knocks it back into the danger zone. Swooping on it was Fraser. This is where he's dangerous, and has he put through their second?
Looks like
he
it.
has. Yes, a very good kick from Fraser on the right footer. Dangerous punch coming there from the Collegians player and putting the ball back in the forward zone, and Fraser sharking on it like the true half forward he is and popped it through.
At least they were attempting to play straight and get away from that boggy outer side. It didn't come off for them then, but they've got such a commanding lead they can afford to take those sort of gambles, can't they, Dos?
Yes, they have. They lead now 55-16. And they are playing with plenty of confidence. Can that get De La Salle going in some sort of way?
Back in the centre now.
Wait and see as umpire Wayne Hinton bounces the ball. No one goes for the knockout there as the ball bounces on the ground again. This time Ronke tries to come out with it. But another pack forms. Umpire Richard Simon this time.
Only some 10 metres from the original bounce.
Simon, a big pack of players around the ball at the moment. Ronke wins the knockout, but well sharked there by Thompson. Brilliantly done as he gets it up towards half forward. Wallace shows some pace, but Mount gathers the ball, turns onto his left foot. Kick smothered there by Tully. Tully might have got one round the leg, but out it comes towards Wright, who couldn't handle the ball. He got one too high. The umpire pays the advantage to Lowe, who's taken the ball away now. Lowe kicks up. Hunter goes the spoil over Woolhouse. Now the ball's loose. Marnie feeds it out towards Hunter. Hunter now from 50 metres out. Breaks the tackle there from Davidson and heads towards goal. He goes across the face. And a big push there came from Lord as he pushed that D-Lar forward. I just can't pick up
Julian Maloney.
Julian Maloney. He gathered the ball.
Boundary throw in close to the point post.
Shove out there from Sheedy, who put Pollock out of the contest.
Pat O'Callaghan it was.
O'Callaghan, sorry.
A little bit crude. He slipped as he did it, so there was no subtlety about it. Pollock gets the kick and will bring it around the member's side.
Pollock, big leap there from Crow. Got one bite to it, but Hibbins came in and stopped him taking the mark. Schober, here's Crow now. Crow now on the wing position. Kicks up towards half forward.
Seems to be all Collegians there.
Oh, pushed
Plenty
out
of
of the
pressure.
contest there was McLuhan by Woolhouse. No need for that. And McLuhan takes the free kick. Fraser and O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan
Pulled off
might
the
have
ball.
been dragged to the ground by Lord. Umpire said no. Bennett now kicks out wide, but he's only found Campbell. 45 metres out, he fires in towards goal. He may have had
Why didn't he take
Marnie
his
loose.
time?
But the ball hasn't even carried the
No, it's
45
bounced
metres.
back into
Bounced back
play.
in
And Bennett's off and running around the outer
Bennett.
side.
from the defensive 50 metre zone. Kicks the ball into Wallace, who handballs back to Galbraith. They get themselves in a bit of trouble here, however. Through came strongly there with Dillon for De La Salle, trying to stem the tide. Ball once again loose. Here comes Hinchin, who's come well up the ground on the left foot. Kicks out towards the lead of
Good mark.
Danzy, but in front there was Rennie, who anticipated well
He's off.
and takes the mark. Switches play across to the grandstand side. Crow and Schober do battle. Both players with a lot of strength and a good contest, and eventually forced over the line for throwing in front of the grandstand. 9 3/4 minutes. The RACV Insurance Scoreboard says Collegians are 8-7-55, D-Lar at 2-4-16. The boundary throw in. No one once again going for the knockout. The umpire said Mount was doing too much pushing in there and didn't give Ronchi much of a chance. He plays on with a handball to Campbell.
Cool.
Puts Lowe under a bit of pressure.
Oh, look at this.
Here's Hibbins now from 45 on the left foot.
Missed.
Another opportunity missed as he hooks it across and goes through from behind. A big opportunity there.
They
Yeah,
seem to be
that's a bad
dispossessing them.
Yeah, bad miss. A great steal. He intercepted this and stole the ball away and ran into what should have been a lay-down Mazaire goal. Bad miss by Hibbins. Tully's going to bring this ball back into play. And as we said, Tully's got the big job now of playing on Stephen Mount, who's alive and very much on fire. Rennie's gone into the back pocket playing on the big player Danzy.
So the ball's out with half back now as a result from that kick from Tully.
Right.
Lowe was caught with a football. Now it comes out to Marnie. Marnie couldn't pick it up at the first attempt. Swooped upon by two Collegians players. And now it looks like it could be Danzy, is it? Having a flying shot at the goal from 45 it was, but he fails to score as he pushes it out. bounds on the full. 11 minutes gone, 8-8 to 2-4 on the RACV Insurance scoreboard. Tully brings it back once again. Goes out towards the outer side. Danzy stayed down and tries to get it on the ground, and he wins a free kick. Getting one too high, said umpire Richard Simon. So Danzy too far out to score, looking for a lead. He gets one now from Mount, who sets himself underneath the pack. A big pack of players fly for it. The ball comes to the ground underneath them, and he's wedged in the pack there, and there'll be once again another throw up.
There's a difference, isn't there? When the ball's brought into the forward line quickly and Mount can lead, he's a chance. In the middle of the pack like that, sitting under a ball that was popped up in the air by Danzy, it's anybody's ball.
Suits the D-Lar defence. They've got a chance to get back, and all jump to spoil as Marnie fires a handball out towards Campbell, but it goes over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw in about 25 metres out.
D-Lar defence is under a bit of siege here. They'll need to really stand up with some pressure in the next couple of seconds.
Throw in. Rennie tried to come over the top of Mount. 4 players going for that knockout, and once again we will see another throw up. So not much happening here at the moment at Elsternwick Park. Play just hovering about 35 metres out from the Collegians goal. Mount once again, Schober in there also. Someone's trying to burst their way through and kick a goal here. They're all having a go. But once again another throw up. So getting fairly monotonous here, Burnsy.
Well, if you had the concession on the throw-ups, you'd be making a fortune, boss. This must be about number 45, isn't it?
It's been a few.
Well, the umpires will be tighter than the players.
So now's a chance. Here it comes. Wallace, a quick snap out of the pack, but going back there in the goal line was Marnie, and he takes an unopposed mark. Umpire, he kicks out towards the grandstand, but he's been asked by umpire Simon to come back and kick over his mark.
While this is being set up, we might just cross back to the studio, remembering you're listening to this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3.
.5 minute mark at the park, 8:56. Collegians play D-Lar 2-4-16. Doss.
Warner from Collegians. Crude tackle there from Crow, but the umpire said play on. He was all over his back. Here comes Fraser now. Turns onto his left foot. Now O'Callaghan looking... Oh, it's not O'Callaghan. It's
Maloney.
Maloney now. Trying to get clear at full forward. But the kick was a poor one. And just dribbles over the boundary line just around from the point post.
Maloney in long sleeves today. O'Callaghan in short sleeves. Doss 13 and 22. Maloney's gone into full forward at various times. They're moving O'Callaghan around a bit.
Danzy, who's in the ruck, wins the knockout. Oh, well done by Tuiz. He takes the handball, tries the check side kick, but it's gone the other way, and now it's back out towards the 45-metre line on the other side of the goal. A very interesting kick there from Tui, but I suppose the idea was right, Mike.
The idea might have been right, but the execution was very poor. I don't know what's wrong with his right foot running under that angle.
Boundary throw-in.
So boundary throw-in on the outer side of the ground this time, 45 metres around from their goal. Danzy and O'Callaghan, they both missed it. Left foot snap here by a D-Lar player. Couldn't pick up who it was. Lord's underneath the pack as it's at the top of the 10-metre square. But another ball up will result.
Just on the edge of the...
Picked a free kick out here to Maloney.
A bit of pushing and shoving, nothing much in it.
Looks like they've been having a bit of a battle all day, Lord and Maloney. And Lord has done something there that umpire Hinton has spotted and given a free kick to Maloney, who has an interesting kick. He's only something like, he's going to kick from 15 metres out, but he's going to kick just about in that practice wicket area, which is very gluey.
Need to concentrate here, drop the ball straight.
In he comes. Looks like he's got it through okay.
Yep.
He has. So he kicks their third goal. The RACV Insurance scoreboard. Collegians 8-8-56. D-Lar Salle now under 3-4-22. 15.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, that was a bad mistake by the Collegians defender, because the umpire had decided to make a ball up out of it, and he'd run in towards the players on the ground, but something had then caught his eye, and Maloney's finished up with a free kick and a goal out of it. So umpire Richard Simon, the VAFA umpire of the year, is to put this ball down in the centre of the ground, Doss.
So umpire Simon, he has it with the ball, puts it to turf. Big knock by Ronke. Through comes O'Callaghan. Now Marnie, who's getting plenty of kicks. This one's off the side of the boot. Fraser, though, has got some space. He's got it at 45. Swings onto his right foot and has a snap. Up towards the goal line. Maloney shepherding it through, and he's put it through. And Nick Fraser kicks his second in this term, and Salle, are they on the way back? I don't know. They're 4-4. They're certainly going very well in this last minute or so.
Well,
they're on the 4-4-28.
They have threaded those two goals together fairly quickly, and Collegians is now out at centre-half forward, Maloney at full forward. They had to do something. It's taken Hinchin further up the ground, and his lack of pace may be exposed by Collegians. Certainly Collegians was instrumental in getting that ball moving forward for Fraser to run onto the loose ball and weave through one of his magic performance goals.
At least this is the start of a bit of a run-on from Salle. Two very quick goals. The Collegians players will be back on the job now as Ronke gets it out. Maloney had his hands on it but couldn't take it. Wright's trying to get it out, but well tackled there by Hoyle, and he said, umpire Simon said he didn't dispose of the ball in the correct manner.
And he's also given him... He's also about to give him a 25-metre, I thought.
Yeah, it looked like it.
So Hoyle will kick right in the centre of the ground here, up towards half forward. Ronke. Misjudged it badly. He's on his own, but now he allows Pilot to handball over towards Thompson. Thompson snaps on the left foot.
Way out of bounds.
He was caught in a boggy area and had trouble keeping his feet, and as a result...
Absolutely desperate attempt by John Tully then to put a pressure on Thompson, and it was terrific. He threw his body at him, and Thompson therefore had to take the extra step, ran into the glue pot, and the kick's gone out of bounds. The value of the little things in football, Dos.
Yes, and there needs to be plenty of that on a day like today. Plenty of pressure and desperation.
A lot of those stats don't get marked down in certain columns, but they stick in coaches' minds.
Little knock-ons are very crucial, just to knock the ball out of packs this afternoon and get your side going.
Ball back in play.
Davidson. Here's now Hibbins. Hibbins was been pinned for dropping the ball as he tried to handball it out. A good tackle. Now it's with Wright. Craig Wright now switches play with a big dash here. He's had 3 bounces now. As he's got Schober in pursuit, but he kicks on the left foot now. But a poor kick, and Irvine drops back off Fraser to take the mark. Irvine now. Hibbins is loose. Right in the middle of Elsternwick Park. Hibbins now. Can Collegians set something up as he goes out to the lead?
No.
Oh, but well done by McIntosh. Chipping in front of Parkin and taking a good defensive mark. Andrew McIntosh on the 45 defensive midline. Oh, poor handball. Puts Wright under a bit of pressure, but he's spun out of trouble well. And here he comes now. A big run through the pack from McIntosh, and he's had 2 bounces. He's at the centre. Can take another one, but he decides to touch it to the ground in the middle. A big run now as he handballs. Oh, it's a poor one, is it? No, he's got
was in the end.
There.
They're bringing it back, Collegians.
As Davidson now brings it out. Brings that attack from
heading for the boundary.
Undone. And they go for the boundary line as Warner's happy to see it over.
Oh, great football by Delar. They've got to try something like that to break open this tight Collegians defence, and 2 runs by Wright have resulted in the ball being turned over, but at least they're trying something.
Throw in. Big leap from Mount from behind, but Crow, can he keep it in? No, he can't. Met fairly solid there by Andrew Wright.
And here we've got Mount up on the ball. Why he would be on the ball with Pollock is beyond me, but he is on the ball.
But Dan's sitting back in the goal square all on his own. Well, with his opponent, of course, Tully, but here's Crow. Paddles it to the boundary line, and there'll be another throw-in right in front of our commentary booth here. 20, or almost 20 minutes gone in this second quarter. Collegians 8-8-56, Delar 4-4-28, mounting something of a challenge in the middle stage of this second quarter. Ronke knocks to McCloonan. McCloonan cleverly onto Lowe. Lowe now goes toward the lead of Maloney. Maloney couldn't quite get underneath it to mark it. And Lord picks the ball up and forces it over. Some of the crowd asking, did he throw it or scoop it? Umpire Hinton said no. He knocked it over the line, and there'll be a throw.
Bit of an altercation here. It's going to be a free.
A free kick against Maloney. So they're at it, those two, Maloney and Lord. Plenty of stuff happening between them off the ball. The umpires are onto it.
Pretty undisciplined by Delar at this stage of the game, Michael.
Now 1-all.
They've got to try something. Good mark by Ronchi. Good mark.
It quickly feeds it off. Here's Tui. Tui now. Kicks it up. Maloney. Oh, the big fly was from O'Callaghan. Here's Irvine now. Beats the Fraser tackle. And now kicks it up towards the wing position. Sheedy sets himself. And Schober also. Lowe tries to bring it out. Oh, they're all over Mark Lowe there. Rode him into the ground. That was Warner, the player, who infringed. And the free kick goes to Lowe.
Lowe will be forced to kick this.
Kicks it in. Big lead from O'Callaghan. Got the hands to it over the top of Bennett. Now feeds it out to McCloonan. Good recovery. McCloonan a standing shot from 40 metres out is a beauty. And he's kicked their 5th. So D-La, 3 goals in a row here. 5-4, 34. Collegians 8-8, 56.
Well, Bersy, you commented before that they made a couple of mistakes, but what they've tried to do is change the nature of the game, and in doing so they've strung together 3 goals, and it was no good sitting back getting their backsides kicked off as they were in the first quarter and a half. And
bow to your greater judgment.
Well, these next 10 minutes are crucial now. D-La have gained the initiative. They have control of the football game at the minute, and they need to string together 2 or 3 more because they're back in this ball game well and truly.
A very spirited second quarter, or latter half of the second quarter by D-La Salle. 3 quick goals. Here's Hinchin coming through. Kicks the ball up towards half forward, and the mark taken there by Schober in front of Sheedy. He quickly feeds it out towards Hoyle, who's got some space. At the 45-metre line now, Hoyle on the left foot. Kicks up towards the top of the square. Punched away there by Rennie. Ball's loose. Now it's with Wallace. Feeds it back to Hoyle. Hoyle now centres the ball up towards Hibbins, who can go. Well, he doesn't quite get there. And a big spoil there came from Ronke. And they can behind.
Another interchange about to occur. D-La have Paul Fume at the interchange gate, but it's uncertain now as to who's coming off. I thought Hunter was coming, but he's now engaged in the play, and Fume's had to retire back, waiting for his chance to re-enter the play.
So the ball's at half forward. There's a pack here. Hibbins tries to force it out. Him and Mark Lowe doing battle.
Yes, it is Hunter that's coming.
Limping a little too, I think.
Yes. And Fume will have a big job down as a key forward now, having lost Hunter.
A good body work from Pollock, but he only succeeds in knocking it into the path of McLuhan. McLuhan now kicks up towards the four-line. Irvine and Fraser. Good punch from Irvine. Well roved by
free kick
Hinchin, but in trying to get away, he's just forearmed, I think it looks like Campbell, is it?
Yep.
To the head. The umpire's picked it up. Umpire Richard Simon, and paid the free kick.
And even an ounce of luck has now fallen D-La's way, which is quite often the case when you start to get a bit of a run.
Campbell's kick. Not such a good one. As Bennett was there. Should have taken the mark. The ball goes to ground. And there'll be a bounce some 15 metres out from the D-La Salle goal.
Yeah, that was a very elementary mark dropped by Jimmy Bennett then. Had both hands on it and was uncontested. Not
one you expect him to miss. Thompson gets it out of the bog heap in the practice wicket area, and his kick finds Hibbins, who's out there at half back. Kicks in towards the centre. He went for the lead of Parkin, but it's a poor kick. The ball got a lot of money on it after being in that practice wicket area, and it's been marked by Toohey.
A bit of a how do you do on the half-forward flank at the moment, but play does go on.
Toohey kicks up towards the 40-metre mark. Umpires pick the free kick out here, going to Collegians, going to their ruckman in Pollock. Things have settled down over there on the outer side.
One D-La Salle player down, can't pick him up.
McIntosh in front of Parkin. Bad kick there by Pollock off the side of the boot. Handballs to Wright. Wright breaks the tackle. He goes down. Hoyle got him very, very high. And umpire Hinton is just telling David Hoyle to settle down a little bit. Get those hands down.
The game has just lit up a bit at the last few seconds. A couple of very physical clashes.
A D-La Salle player still down, who went down in that previous altercation too.
So a free kick downfield goes to Sheedy. Handballs on to Wright, who kicks in towards the forward zone. O'Callaghan, well done from Irvine, showed courage to get in the path. Out it comes towards Thompson. Thompson now runs away out of the glue pot down there in the forward line and gets it out to Mount. Mount, who's well down the ground, kicks up towards the wing position, and a good lead from Wallace and a good kick as he takes the mark on the centre wing position.
We just ended the time on period of this second quarter.
So it was a very deserted Collegians forward line. Earlier now, players getting themselves back as they start to chip it around. The kick from Wallace finds Hibbins. He takes the mark and handballs back to Mount, who kicks up towards half forward. But in front of the pack there, is it Ronke?
Yes, it is
Ronke.
And it was Paul Fume, who had only just gone on the ground, that was heavily met over there, and he's having to leave the ground, being assisted by a trainer. And we'll see Michael Dillon return to the game.
They're losing a bit of height, D-La Salle, at this stage.
D-La are playing on at every occasion. Notice that they get a free kick and they handball off to someone, sometimes standing still, but that's been all their pattern of play for years.
Tully, the old 1-2, as he gets it back. Scrambly passage of play, and once again another ball up.
And we might just cross back to the studio. Remember, you're listening to this on Southern FM 88.3.
Back here at the ground now, 26-minute mark. Off.
So Delar have gone into attack there by through the agency of Tui, who took the ball out of the centre. Fume coming off, Danzy coming off for Collegians, and coming onto the ground is Nick Proctor.
He's the young player that Steve Bickford referred to us earlier in the game as a young running player. They put a bit of pace onto the ground, Collegians, because they do look a little bit slow.
So here they go now, big chance for them to bring the ball out of defence through
Proctor's
right.
got a chance straight up.
Goes to the boundary line, and Proctor, umpire said Nick Proctor, you deliberately hit that ball over the boundary line, and gives a free kick to Craig Wright.
And it was a correct decision. He made no attempt to keep that ball in play
comes around
whatsoever.
and plays on it. It's a very heavy ball at the moment. And the ball knocked away there by Pollock.
Michael Chivella on the boundary line. Any report on Paul Fume's injury? You're there, Michael? Not with us.
Michael is down there. I can see he's near the Delar bench. No doubt he'll get an update on it very shortly. But they did take a long time to get Fume off. I couldn't believe he walked off the ground instead of being carried by some trainers.
O'Callaghan gets the knockout. Woolhouse tries to come through, but goes back in very crudely and gives away a free kick.
There is absolutely no doubt, Dos, that the initiative is well and truly in Delar's court right this minute. In fact, Collegians have made some very crude and elementary mistakes, and they look a little bit discombobulated.
Discombobulated, there it is. That's the word we've been waiting for this afternoon. It's taken almost a half time to get it out.
Discombobulated Collegians are trying to resist this challenge. And Michael Chiavello down there at ground level while the shot for goal is going on.
Mick Dillon, 40 metres out, hooks it, one behind.
Can you hear us, Michael?
Yes, Mark. Paul Fume has just come off the ground. He took a severe blow to the ribs, and he'll miss the rest of this quarter. And the trainers will be looking at him during half time.
Thank you, Michael. Your line's just a little bit muffled at the moment. Perhaps take it out of your pocket. Stuart Hinchin bringing the ball back into play at full back.
Out he goes, and he's found, I think that could be Proctor, the new player on the ground. He's got the aid of a 25-metre penalty. He can't do that. He has been able to do that. I thought they had to set the 25 metres up, but he just played on immediately and kicks it up towards the centre. And the mark being taken there by Warner. Warner goes up. Mount punches from behind. Here comes Thompson.
Great smother
Over to
by
Pollock.
Delar. Peter Rennie. Great captain smother.
Here's Davidson now pumping the ball back into the forward line
Nice
for
mark.
Collegians, but a beautiful mark there by Tully, who holds them up down there in the back pocket.
Great judgment by Tully, nipping in between those two players.
Tully, good distance with the heavy ball, and an unattended mark taken there by Campbell.
He did nudge him out, but the umpire was unsided, so Campbell
Kicks to
got
the wing
kick,
position.
and they're working it around the boundary line, what we now refer to in football, Dos, as time erosion. The time erosion technique, a TET.
Well, they won't have to do it for much longer. It's over nearly the 29.5-minute mark in the second quarter, and it shouldn't go much past 30.
29.5 minutes. And another
Well,
goal
there's been a
for
couple of
Delar.
stoppage of play with a couple of incidents, so we might go to 31 or 2.
Oh, fresh air shot.
So it's like a rugby scrum out there at the moment, and the umpire, Richard Simon, is going to pick out a free kick. And it looks like it's going out there.
It was Matty Galbraith, his
Galbraith.
characteristic kicking style on that far side. Hard to see sometimes.
Wallace rows the pack. Thompson feeds it back in. Looks like Warner was the other player in there. Another scrambly passage of play out in the heavy going out there. Collegians are away now, though. Oh, clever knock on there by Parkin, was it? Now the ball's at the 30 metres out from goal, and a free kick's been paid there against Ronke. That's going to go to Hoyle, who doesn't like it too much at all.
Still
And a
pushing
few
and
players
shoving.
doing a bit of pushing and shoving.
Then they got
And umpire Wayne Hinton, to assert his authority, decides I've had enough of that.
They're still pushing and shoving over there.
He brings back the play 25 metres, and he'll be kicking from 5 metres out. So David Hoyle, not what Delar needed.
No, it certainly wasn't. They didn't need another score against them right this moment, and he should easily kick this. I mean, he'd have to fall over to miss it.
Well, he puts it straight
gone
through.
into the golf course, I think.
It's the end of that ball. We won't see that again
No,
today.
it's been well marked at the back of the pack out there by a blonde-headed fellow, but that's their ninth, 9-9. It's at 5-5, so a steadying goal for Collegians right on half-time, and that's just exactly what Delar Salle didn't want. In fact, they would have dearly loved that goal themselves. 31 and a quarter minutes gone. Approaching half-time here in the A-Section 1992 Grand Final here at Elsternwick Park.
And Richard Simon about to put this ball to turf again, Doss, I should
Umpire
say.
Richard Simon. Wayne Hinton, the man awarding that 25-metre penalty. Umpire Simon's bounce. Down it goes, punched away there by Pollock. Galbraith, well done as he screws it over his shoulder and gets it going forward again, but Mark Lowe with a...
Craig Wright.
Sorry, it's Wright, I should say, with a turn of speed, comes up from half-back
Out of
and
bounds.
finds the boundary line. So good pace there from Wright.
Right on half-time here at Elsternwick Park. 31, nearly 32 minutes gone. Collegians 9-9, play De La Salle 5-5.
On the RACV insurance scoreboard. And there's
Indeed.
half-time. No need for this ball to be thrown back into play at half-time at Elsternwick Park. That quarter going 32 minutes, as I predicted.
Very nice.
Collegians 9 goals 9-63, lead De La Salle 5 goals 5-35, and this broadcast is being brought to you on Southern FM 88.3.
Now, as Collegians come back onto the ground in that tight little unit that they left in, I wonder if they've all been standing around like that in the dressing rooms, do you think, Doss?
Oh, I think that would have been fairly relaxed and just resting up for a big second half. I just might give the goal kickers in the game
Do that.
so far. Collegians have kicked 9-9-63, and their 9 goals have been kicked by Schober, who's kicked 3, Mount 3, so their key forwards have been prominent in that area. Hibbins has 2 and Hoyle has 1, and De La Salle's 5 goals have been kicked by Nick Fraser's kicked 2 of them, and singles to McLuhan, Maloney and O'Callaghan.
And you're listening to this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3.
Okay, back at the ground here on the Dental Health Services scoreboard, just about the third quarter to get underway. Collegians are leading 9-9-63 over De La Salle 5-5-35. Fairly big deficit, in my opinion, for them to overcome. But Michael, you still think they'll be able to get back in and win this game, De La Salle?
What I'm saying is they're not outside of a chance, and I think they're one of the few sides who I'd be confident enough to say that about, perhaps other than sides that I've coached, but would be prepared to work hard enough to get back into this game and go on and win it. Certainly Collegians are in the box seat. There is no doubt about that. The Collegians played tremendous football for the first quarter and 10 minutes. They lost the plot for 20 minutes of that second quarter, but De La Salle Football Club is a proud football club. They're defending their title. They want to go back to back. It's a feat that's very, very hard to achieve in A section, the most competitive section. And if there's a club that can do it, then I have great confidence that it could be the De La Salle Football Club.
Nicely put and nicely summed up as we head into the matchups now as the players start taking up their positions on the field for the start of the third quarter, which will be coming along in about 20 or 30 seconds time. The Collegian side's still over there, Doss on the edge of the square. They're still in a huddle. I think they must be all joined at the hip.
Yeah, some last minute instructions from James Bennett, no doubt, and perhaps Stephen Mount and Mark Evans, a few of their senior players, and the De La Salle players wait. But Mike, definitely right there. They have battled against the odds all year, De La Salle, and they are a side, if anyone, of capable of coming back into this game. And I do hope they can in this third quarter. So it's set up for a typical tight last or grand final last quarter.
Yes, well, certainly none of us up here, for a start, want to see one side run away from the other, and at the moment, Collegians would be the ones who are going to do it, if anyone is, but De La might turn it on. This is the championship quarter, as they say in the Classic, so this could very well decide the outcome of the whole game.
Yeah, it's going to be very crucial.
It is a crazy thing to say, when the game's played over 4 quarters, but so many times you can trace back a victory to a third quarter performance. And so what we're faced with now is, can De La overcome this 4.5 goal deficit and fight their way back into level pegging at 3/4 time to go into that last quarter with a chance to take out the 1992 A section premiership. The next hour will tell us, I guess, Doss. Boundary umpires are in position. Wayne Hinton's going to put this ball down, and we're about to start the second half. of the VAFAA section grand final for 1992. Mark Anderson, take it away.
Yes, umpire Hinton, 9-9 to 5-5 in the second half is underway as umpire Hinton puts the ball to turf. Pollock gets the first knock, beats Ronke for it. Hegan on the ground now overruns it, and now Parkin at 45. Can he run onto the ball? He does so. Gets around Tully, kicks on the right foot towards the goal, and a golden opportunity missed as he hooked it across the face and only scores one behind. They could have scored a goal in the first 16 seconds.
That was a very impressive burst out of the centre by Collegians.
Certainly breathing fire after the half-time break.
So very, very important time for De La Saleta to have any chance. They do have to rally here in this third term as the ball is loose now. Out it comes to Marnie, I should say. Gets it over to McIntosh. He's under pressure. Tackled well by Thompson. Knocked further afield there by Wallace. Davidson couldn't handle it. Tried to bring it up. Right. Tackled there by Warner. Umpire said too long to get rid of it, and he pays the free kick to Warner. Who'll a 25-metre penalty also, is it?
Yeah, very undisciplined one there. They'd already lost the possession with the free kick, and then Marnie kicked the ball away.
Just the sort of thing they can't afford to do early on. They've got to score first here, and they're not going to.
So it gets Warner up to the edge of the arc of the 45-metre.
Need to be a good kick to score from here, but he's having a shot. Few of the big forwards down there. He hooks it a little and misses to the near side, and it goes through from behind.
Often the case does, isn't it? When you try for that extra 5-metre distance, you pull it off to the left-hand side when you're a right foot kick.
That's exactly what happened there.
9-11-65, plays 5-5-35 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. We've been going 1.5 minutes into the third quarter.
Rennie, a good long kick, and probably too long for Ronke, and it was Warner who read it nicely and took a nice mark at the back of a pack. So Warner just inside the centre square now, puts it right up about 30 metres from the Collegians goal. A big pack of players fly for it. The ball hits the deck and the players dive in and smother underneath, and umpire Simon comes in to take a bounce. 2 minutes gone in the third term, and once again a big pack of players around the ball, some 20 metres out from the Collegians goal, who are kicking to the Glen Huntly or City End, Glen Huntly Road or City End I should say, of Elstonwick Park, and that bounce is unsuccessful in clearing the pack also as it comes straight down, and there'll be another bounce. Umpire Simon working overtime there at the moment. Through comes Schober, straight through with a burst of strength and a burst of speed, and gets it onto the right boot and puts it through for his fourth, and a terrific goal by Richard Schober.
10-11-71, 5-5-35 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. Mike?
A great vice-captain's goal, that, wasn't it? Just great strength. He's shown that a number of times today, but that was a crucial one. There was a big pack of players, bounced to the ball, and he burst through and scored the opening goal of this quarter. A crucial goal. Coming up to 3 minutes, first blood, Collegians.
He read it beautifully. There was 2 or 3 bounces prior to that, and he decided something has to be done, and he timed his run with perfection. The ball was loose. He picked it up and kicked on the right foot and kicked it truly from 20 metres out. As they're away again with a knockout from Pollock. Galbraith now gets underneath. Now Braith clear and sends them forward again. Here's Mount with a chance. A desperate diving attempt on the chest just beats him, and the ball goes over for a boundary line. Over the boundary line for a throw-in, but a very, very desperate lunging attempt from Stephen Mount.
He's been very energised today, Doss. He's run around a lot, jumps in the air a lot. I just wonder if sometimes in the second half he dies off because of over-exuberance.
Time will tell us. There he is, doing the ruck work again. He knocks the ball in towards the path of the forwards in front of the goal square, but now the ball's forced out wide by the D-Lar defenders. And Hegan, well tackled there by Wallace, and the ball spills over for throw-in 40 metres out from the Collegians goal.
Mickey Hagan has only come onto the ground in this half. I was wondering why he wasn't on earlier. It should be a good tussle between him and the resting Rovers, Wallace and Thompson.
Schober knocks it back into the centre.
A steal by Galbraith.
Galbraith wrestled to the ground there by Smith, but good work, good strong play, but the ball eventually comes out towards the...
Bit of presence of mind by Crow. He felt himself tackled and handballed off to the boundary line without making it too obvious. Good young player, young Crowy.
Throw in. 30 metres out. Up too early with Mount. Umpire allowed to go on. Wallace tries to kick off the ground. Once again a pack of players, and D-Lar sell through McIntosh, go to the safety of the boundary line. Nearly 5 minutes gone into this third quarter, and just a solitary goal to Collegians.
Parkin's been very active this quarter after having a very quiet second quarter.
Yeah, I thought he went off the ball in this ball.
Ronke wins the knock. McIntosh tries to clear it away. can't do so. Paddles it out, but not before umpire Wayne Hinton has blown his whistle and says, I'll have a bounce.
And one of the last ones to get up again was Anthony Parkin. He is throwing himself in at this ball.
45 metres out. Two tired ruckmen with Pollock and Mount against Ronke. Parkin has the ball now, but the umpire's paid a free kick.
Young Danny Thompson.
Going to Thompson, who got one a bit high.
And he is on the edge of the 45-metre arc.
He'll kick from about 45. He did kick from a more acute angle right over on the boundary line early and did hook it through from behind. He can kick the distance and not without some sort of chance here. Young Danny Thompson coming in. Does the same again. A good carry on the kick, but going for the extra distance, he does hook it and misses for the near side.
Again, they've peppered the goals, haven't they, Collegians? But they've only scored one out of 4 or 5 forward moves.
10, 12, 72, 5, 5, 35 at the
It's a lovely
6-minute
kick
mark.
Lovely
Beautiful
kick in there
into
by
McLuhan. Off to Lowe.
Lowe now on the left foot. Goes out towards the wing. Looking for
Crow.
And Dillon. Dillon has it now. Reflecting the big handball in towards Crow, but decided against it. Punched away at the back there by Irvine. The ball loose on the De La Salle 45-metre line. Players converge on it. Now it comes out. Here's Thompson, who's moved back quickly. Tries to tap it out of the pack, but the De La players dive on it and force another bounce.
Yeah, good call, Doss. That was a great ground coverage by Thompson. Here he was in the forward pocket, and now he's deep in defence, almost at the true centre-half back position.
Throw in, a throw up, I should say. And here's that man again, Thompson, roving the pack. Goes for the safety of the boundary line, but got too much weight on it and sent it over on the full. And Nick Fraser moves over to take the kick, but he's not going to be able to have it. As the umpire said, Damien too, he has to take it. And he'll kick from right on the boundary line, about 35 metres out from the De La goal. He's going to have a set shot.
Certainly Fraser's a better kick than Tui, and Fraser could well have threaded this.
Ignoring all leads.
Goes for the check side kick and misses to the near side.
I think they're getting a bit carried away with this check side these days, Doss. What's wrong with putting the ball in front of the square for one of your forwards to mark?
Yeah, or even a drop punt. There is some daylight out in that pocket there. So he went for that and missed 5-6 to 10-12 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard.
Beautiful kick in by Woolhouse.
Another lovely kick in, and
Andrew Lord.
Marked by Lord, who made good space at half-back. Now kicks up towards the wing. That's not such a good kick, as Crow was in front of, is it Woolhouse or...
Hard to see, it's a long way across that ground.
So it's
the furthest point from us. It's Woolhouse is at full back.
Might have been, may have in fact
Warner.
Warner.
56.
Boundary throw in, scrambly passage again. Umpire said, was it Ronke who threw it out? It was. And the free kick. In fact, I think going to
Matty Galbraith.
Galbraith.
Brings it into the true centre forward position, and Shover nearly pulls that ball to ground.
Wallace now sharks it on the ground. Terrible kick, an up and under kick, only lucky to travel the required distance. Plenty of players go up underneath it. Now Davidson with a chance. Tries to paddle the ball in front of him, looking for a free kick for holding the man. Now Parkin handballs it out to Hoyle. Hoyle backs in towards traffic. He's run into a bit of trouble. Eventually the ball's dispossessed. But still going here is Warner. Warner out to Parkin, quickly onto the left foot, sends it up to the top of the square. Mount from behind with a big reach. Well roved by Wallace on the right foot. He snaps and misses.
1 point, 54-minute mark in the, we're coming up to the 9-minute mark, I should say, in the third quarter. We might take a quick break. This is listening to 88.3 FM. No, we're not. Straight onto the game. Doss.
Bennett come well up from centre half back, thumps the ball back into the Collegians forward area. Galbraith pounces on it and runs into 25 metres and bangs it through. So Matthew Galbraith, doing what he so often does, comes down and creates some space on that forward line, ran onto the ball that was punched away by Bennett and slotted it through for their 11th goal.
There from the Dental Health Services scoreboard, Collegians lead 11-13-79 to De La Salle 5-6-36. Take a break this time on Southern FM 88.3.
Not having much success there, Burnsy. But
No, I think
We've gone to sleep back at the studio.
Just woke up. Glad he didn't. I would have missed that goal.
the ball's at half forward for De La Salle now as O'Callaghan paddles it forward. Maloney goes in there, tries to handball it out, does so, gets it out there to, can't pick up that player who kicked the goal.
Michael Dillon.
It's Dillon, a lovely
Dillon.
snap on the right foot, and he slotted it straight through. So a quick reply there from De La Salle. They kicked their 6 goals. 6-6-42, Collegians 11-13-79.
And the Dental Health Services scored, but that was a bit against the run of play too, wasn't it, fellas?
Yes, it did. It came out of the centre. It just shows you the value of winning that possession out of the centre. One of the most crucial stats in football today is possession out of the centre, not who wins the ruck knockout. And they took it forward very directly. Bit of a scrimmage. Ball popped free. Dillon seized his opportunity and banged it through.
So umpire Simon puts the ball to turf again. Ronke gets the knock. Davidson now is overrun there by Tui. Tui feeds it back out, trying to get it to McIntosh. Here comes Hegan, who's come up from the back pocket. Good tackle by Davidson.
Never gave up.
Possessed the ball. Ronke handballs over towards Tui. Tui gets it onto McClurnan. McClurnan handballs to Wright, who's come well up from half back and kicks up from the centre. Goes up towards the forward line. O'Callaghan's in there. Underneath is a Collegians player trying to shovel the ball out. And there's about 5 or 6 players diving in there, and umpire Simon is left with no alternative but to come in and bounce.
Isn't he a great dasher off that half-back line, Craig Wright? I mean, his runs with the ball, and that one was piercingly low, just over the head of his leading forward. Needed the height of O'Callaghan to take that.
Low. Gets it over there. Here's Crow, a flying shot from 40 metres out on the right foot.
Right through for a point.
Tumbled through far side for one behind. 11-13-79, Collegians DLR 6-7-43 on the Dental Health Services Board. Bennett, beautiful kick in. Davidson goes for the mark. Spoilt there by
It's a free, I think.
McIntosh. And he's paid the free kick to Christian Davidson, who's just starting to come into the game in this third term. On the left foot, kicks up towards the wing. Sheedy got the sit here. Hibbins at the back, goes for the mark. Hegan tries to go through. Tui handballs it away. Wallace, they've got numbers here, Collegians now, as Galbraith's got it. Gets around the O'Callaghan tackle. Pollock couldn't take the quick kick from Galbraith. Trying to come through there was Crow. Now it's out to Marnie. Marnie on the right foot. Goes up forward. Good spoil there from Woolhouse, was it? But the umpire said he infringed on Campbell, and he'll take the free kick about 50-odd metres out from their goal.
And Brett Marnie is limping after that collision. He just got rid of the ball, and Marnie was collected by a flying Collegians body. Campbell with that ball.
Campbell, centering kick. But a big mark there by Pollock, who dropped back beautifully and read it well and took a timely mark in defence for Collegians. He goes out wide with a beautiful lead and a beautiful kick as Thompson takes the mark out there in front of Danny Smith. Thompson now goes up the half forward to the lead from Mount, but the ball bounces in front of him and the boundary line beats both Stephen Mount and Tully.
Tully's playing him very well indeed for a young player. Very intelligent, not wasting energy jumping up in the ruck like Stephen does. He waits off the play. Now he runs in to be at Mount's elbow.
Mount is going to go for the ruck contest again with both Schober and Ronke. Ronke was the only one that flew in the end. Thompson could have been held there, but he's loose here at 30 metres out. Handballs away towards Warner. Warner gets it back to Galbraith. Galbraith a kick on the left foot. In towards goal. Hoyle was the big flyer, meets with the goal post and only succeeds in punching it through for one behind. Big fly there from Rennie and Hoyle, and Hoyle is the man who seems to be guarding the goal square for Collegians at the moment, so they're swapping it around a bit.
And Rennie puts his body at risk, doesn't he? Hey, boy, he's courageous.
Kicks in now, Peter Rennie. Goes out towards O'Callaghan. He could have been interfered with. Here's Davidson. Davidson handballs towards the boundary line, and Matthew Galbraith paddles it further and finds the boundary line this time. There'll be a throw in 14.5 minutes into the third term here at Elsternwick Park.
And boundary umpire Leah Gallagher throwing this ball in. The females have made our A-section panel.
Might get another chance here as Hegan brings the ball further afield. Lowe uses his body on Wallace, but Wallace dives in underneath the ball. And there'll be a bounce. Certainly been no shortage of those here this afternoon. Both umpires will have very, very sore backs and hamstrings tomorrow.
They've generally umpired well, Doss. I think they've been, they've paid the obvious and let the rest go.
Yes, it's no good just picking free kicks out for the sake of it. If you can't see them, they're not there, just to break up the packs.
Delar need to mount a challenge now in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
It's at the
Pollock.
15-minute mark.
Wallace, deft touch there, gets the chance, gives Warner the chance to kick it into the forward line. He does so.
Over
There
there
goes Thompson. Thompson, handballs, a poor one, and only finds Rennie. He had Mount and Hoyle running with him, but in the middle of them was Peter Rennie, and as soon as he received it, he handballed it straight through from behind.
Great composure by Thompson then. He's got an old head, hasn't he, on young shoulders. No wonder the league scouts have sought him out for the draft.
Rennie kicks out long, out into the path of McIntosh. But Bennett intercepts and forces the ball out of bounds at half-back.
Here's a couple of big names in football have been very quiet today. McIntosh and Bennett. Bennett the centre half-back for Collegians, McIntosh on the wing for Delar.
Pollock gets the knock. Looks like it could be Warner. He got the... No, it wasn't
Woolhouse.
Woolhouse. Schober. Left foot kick was well smothered by Lowe it was. Lowe now comes away with one bounce. Coming into the shepherd there was McCloonan. Sorry, it was right in the first place. I was right. He's had 3 bounces. He brings it up to half forward. And a beautiful pass finds O'Callaghan. His teammates are telling him to go on quickly. He tries to do that, but the second tackle he couldn't beat. He beat the first one, but he couldn't beat the second. And Bennett now takes the free kick as a result of that good tackle. Wastes no time in playing on and handballs out to Hibbins, who's got plenty of space. Takes a bounce. Kicks out towards half forward. Tully and Schober. Tully a good spoil from behind and then dives in desperately. And De La Salle now through Tui, bring the ball away. Looks like it could be Marnie bringing the ball up from the wing position and gets it up towards Campbell. Campbell marks it half forward, boots the ball high into the forward line. Maloney sets himself. Lord punches to the ground, but a snap out of the pack there. Could have been by Lowe. Here's Maloney now, deep in the pocket. Sorry, it was Fraser who was caught deep in the pocket. And the tackle was by Lord, I think.
Bernie Dunn will be hoping for a bit of Fraser magic in the next 10 minutes or so if they're going to be within striking distance at three-quarter time.
Boundary throw in. Reaching over the top was O'Callaghan, got the knockout, but only comes out towards Bennett. Bennett brings it up towards the centre wing. Hegan and Thompson do battle. They both go to ground. No one gets the ball. The ball runs loose at the back of the pack. Diving in was Tui. Mount tries to come through. A tired Ronke gets the ball. Handballs to Sheedy, who gets it onto the running right, and here he goes again. He has a bounce and drives them forward, but it's a poor kick, and only finds Pollock, who's sitting back there, a kick behind the player, 10.5 back. Quickly brings the ball out wide. He's got a couple of players out here. The ball doesn't bounce all that favourably for Parkin, but he tries to knock it back in the path of Wright, who knocks it further afield towards Bennett, who's got some space. Runs up towards the centre and kicks up to half forward, and an unopposed mark taken there by Schober on the 45-metre line. Mount telling him to go long into the forward line, or long into the goals, and he's not without a chance of kicking this.
Best player on the ground by a mile. Richard Schober with a kick for goal. Directly in front, he's going to kick from the 45-metre arc. He'll kick a few metres inside that.
Kicking for his 5th goal. He's already got 4, the big fellow, and been a very, very dominant player, as Mike said. Left foot kick from just inside 50. It's a beautiful kick. Just touched on the line, was it?
It's a goal.
No, it's through. So Richard Schober kicked his 5th goal, and one would suspect perhaps Collegians sneaking out to winning break now. They're 12-15-87. De La Salle 6-7-43 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard.
And you're listening to this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3. Back here at the park.
Back at Elsternwick Park in the centre. Richard Simon puts the ball to turf. No one goes for the knockout. Thompson now runs onto it. And another centre square possession here as he goes on to Proctor with a good handball. Proctor now drives them deep into the goal square. Setting himself was Hoyle.
Oh,
he had 2 bites of the cherry. Umpire said no. Here's Warner now with a snap on the right boot. Around the body, but misses to the far side and only one behind. So,
unlucky not to get that mark, I thought.
Yes, very unlucky. He touched it 2 or 3 times but didn't have it in control, and the rules say you must control the ball.
Rennie's kick out wide, and here's that man again, Schober, just at the back of the pack.
And he was 3rd in line there, Doss. His judgment was just superb, wasn't it?
Great hands, superb judgment, and he's got a 25-metre penalty. I didn't see what for. Was it Ronke running through the mark?
Ronke did cut the mark, unfortunately. Shades of Jimmy Steins with Gary Buccanara. He cut the mark, and it brings Schober to within striking distance for his 6th goal, and he should kick this. Distance will not be a problem for him. Very awkward looking left foot, but it's very effective.
So Richard Schober might be a little bit early to say, but could be kicking the sealer here, I think. Oh, straight through the middle. He's having
Lovely
a marvellous
kick.
day, Richard Schober. Put through his 6th goal, and Collegians 13, 16, 94, De La Salle 6-7-43, and it's all one-way traffic now at Elsternwick Park.
Yes, the Dental Health Services scoreboard tells the tale. It's a very, very big deficit for De La Salle to consider coming back in a last quarter.
Yes,
At the 20-minute mark of this third quarter, Collegians have really nailed a few nails into that coffin.
Yeah, 51 points. They'll be hard-pressed to come back here, De La, and they do look a little down and out at the moment as Collegians have surged forward in this all-important Premiership third quarter. Ronke still battling away with Pollock. The ball's in the centre. They all dive on it. There's a bit of a tussle off the ball.
Still.
Umpire Richard Simon. Well, several things down in there.
Bit of frustration creeping into some of the De La Salle players' minds, I think. They just can't get a run going. Ronchi, large leap and knocks it forward. Jimmy Bennett slung off the ball and will just take a well-deserved free kick.
Didn't have the ball. Correct decision by umpire Richard Simon. And James Bennett about to set up another Collegians attack. Nearly 22 minutes gone in the third quarter. Goes out wide to the lead of Mount. Up a little bit too early. They knock it away from him. Cleverly knocked on there by Irvine into the path of Warner. But chipping in well was Crow. And he forces it out even wider for a boundary throw in about 40 metres out from the Collegian goal.
Coming up to the 22-minute mark in the third quarter at Elsternwick Park, Collegians leading over De La Salle.
Umpire Wright with this ball, bringing it back into play.
In front of the Dental Health Services mouthguard Mays marquee out there is Tui. Gets it out wide to Crow. Crow along the boundary line. Under pressure from Irvine. Keeps it in with the left foot. And is that a mark not paid to the De La Salle play? He didn't hang on to it long enough. And it spills off hands and over the boundary line for throw-in just on the Collegian side of centre, who are holding a very commanding 51-point lead in this third quarter. Throw-in, Pollock and Ronke. Pollock wins the knock. It was Galbraith trying to run onto it.
Interesting tactic, Collegians. They play Pollock on the ball for short burst and they drop him back across the half-back line where he's intercepted on a couple of occasions. But he certainly matches Ronke in the ruck work.
He's been an effective tactic in this term. He's
certainly
taken
has.
Quite a few marks down there at half-back. Here's Crow. Handball too long for that player in Dillon, but he was held on to before the ball came to him, and he'll take the free kick. Dillon up early was O'Callaghan, got a hand to it. Hinchin, a quick kick out of the pack. Desperate attempt to mark out there. Is it Warner or Proctor? So sure which one. We'll find out now. No, we won't. It's a De La free kick.
Ooh, we went down after we kicked that too.
Marnie.
That's Marnie with that
Picks it up
leg.
Half forward. Fraser trying to weave a little bit of magic that Mike was talking about earlier on the left foot. Kicks up towards Maloney and Lord.
Not through for a
Good
point.
contest and it's rushed off the hands of the pack. Through for one behind. So 6-8. De La Salle 44. Collegians of 13-16-94 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. Just about coming up to time on. 24 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Good mark.
Good mark by Hegan. Waste no time in playing on, which is good football. McLuhan feeds it out to Wright, who's well up the ground on the right foot. Kicks towards goal. It's coming back, but not far enough.
Great.
Only one behind.
Great pressure by Danny Thompson then, because Wright was going to run into that goal, and Thompson just burst at him for those last couple of metres to make sure there was a pressure on the kicker. Good to see a young player doing the little things of football that separate the champions from the ordinary player.
Woolhouse out wide, straight through the legs of Lord out there. The ball's flicked back. Here's a chance now for Dillon. Ball's loose. Players dive on the pack, and we'll see another throw-up.
And it's been a bit of a lacklustre last 5 or 6 minutes. The ball has largely been on the outer side, only coming near the De La goals once. A number of ball-ups and throw-ins.
Got the throw-up. Cleared away, I think, there by Wright out in the full. Only succeeds in kicking it over on the full.
It's right for Collegians as opposed to right for De La Salle. Andrew Wright, Collegians player. Back pocket player.
The ball comes back. Big leap there from O'Callaghan, but well trapped down there by a Collegians player who's gone to ground now. kick there, was it by Marnie? Over the shoulder. Here comes
Here's a chance.
Fraser, weaving it through the pack. Handballs at the Crow. Crow tries to do the same thing, but Carty's converged upon by about 4 Collegians defenders there, and the ball's trapped underneath.
A little bit of a
As the
scuffle.
players want to go on with it. Woolhouse and Crow.
Bounce the ball.
Now Maloney having a bit of a wrestle.
Punch through.
As the ball's been bounced by the umpire, Richard Simon, thinking that's the best way to stop those sort of things, get the play going.
And it is.
It's been punched through for a point too.
Get their minds back on football by having the play going around them.
26-minute mark. Collegians 13-16-94 over De La Salle 6-10-46. The ball comes back into play. Dos.
And we've got O'Callaghan has come out to play on Pollock for this kick-in. I think they would lose nothing by putting O'Callaghan on the ball for a few minutes, D-La.
So
Thompson
Thompson picks the
intercept.
ball away from half back out towards Schober and Sheedy. The ball beats them both. Coming through there was Danny Smith. Here comes Wallace, who's got some space now. Tries to get around Smith, but a very, very good tackle. Schober in their support. Chips it inside. Beautiful kick towards Mount. Missed what he should have taken. Now the ball's with Hibbins, who
Great
had the ball
tackle.
held to him by Tully. A good tackle. And the umpire said you had a chance, and has rewarded the tackle of Tully, who handballs to McIntosh, who was under a lot of pressure. Good tackle there by Galbraith. Now it comes to Thompson. Thompson on the left foot. Kicks to an open goal square. Can it bounce through? No. It bounces towards the boundary line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Steel are getting themselves in awful trouble unloading this handball without looking at where they're heading it to and whether the player has a clear passage. That was one that he was running into a wall, McIntosh, when the ball was handed out to him. Wasted opportunity.
So 27 minutes, just over 27 minutes in the third quarter. Another scoring opportunity as Warner takes one out of the pack from the throw-in. Has a flying snap, but goes across the face of goal to the far side and goes through from behind. So 13-17-95. Certainly had a lot more scoring shots than De La Salle, who are on 6-10-46. A disappointing quarter for them.
Yes,
and
it's blown it for them.
Collegians establishing a premiership break, I would think, here.
No doubt about it. Only a big mark.
The punch from behind. The ball lands in the lap of about 3 players on the ground. And they force the ball up.
Ronke's starting to look very tired. Of course, he's had to carry these rucks by himself, jumping against Pollock and Mount. And
He's been jumping against 2 or 3 players on some occasions.
Free kick out of that.
And plays a throw going to Pollock. Now Mount on the lead. Chipping in there was Tui. Over his head it went, and Tully got it out to right, who clears it out to half back.
Campbell
Now
out
it's
there.
with Crow. Crow now feeds it back inside to Rennie, who's come up the ground to half back. Rennie puts that player under enormous pressure as Hibbins. It was McLuhan who intercepted Mount. Players from both sides looking pretty tired at the moment. As the ball goes out towards half forward for Collegians. Right, the ball didn't bounce too favourably for him, and Thompson gets the ball. Dribbles a kick up towards the forward pocket, and it goes over the line, and Mike, the sting really has gone out of the game at the moment.
absolutely, yes. At the moment, I think Dealer are just trying to run out the clock to three-quarter time to catch their breath because they've been under siege. They can't get the ball through their centre line. Collegians have been playing brilliant football across the centre of this ground. Numbers at every contest.
Still the ball bottled up at half forward for Collegians, but Schober once again feeds it out there to Wallace, who kicks on the left foot, but he's hooked it back too far and misses and kicks one behind. That's their 13-18-96. Collegians and D-La are 6-10-46 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard.
And all one can say is, I would say Bernie Dunn is just thanking God that Collegians are kicking so badly. They've had lots of opportunities to bury De La Salle, and they should have. They haven't already.
31
Kick from
scoring
Rennie
shots.
finds Tully. Tully runs up to the half back and kicks in towards the centre and finds
Mark Lowe,
Lowe
out to Sheedy.
Sheedy handballs on to McIntosh. McIntosh picks it up on the bounce and kicks up towards half forward. Too long for Maloney. Big thumping punch there at the back from the Collegians player as Bennett takes it on the half back flank, dribbles it round, only to find Hegan, who couldn't gather it the first time. Mark Hibbins goes in and forces the ball up.
Just about out of time here in the third quarter.
6 over 30 minutes. And they lead by 50 points. Collegians.
There we go.
Third quarter siren here at Elstonwick Park. Collegians 13-18-96 over De La Salle 6-10-46 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard, and you're listening to this broadcast on Southern 88.3 FM.
Five callers on this number, our number, 531833, 531833. So you're one of the callers to tell me who won last year's A section and B section grand finals here at Elstonwick Park. Last year's A section and B section grand finals at Elstonwick Park. We will give you a Schweppes 6-pack, and we'll give you also a Diodora sports bag or a Dental Health Services sports bag and cap. The first five callers that ring in on 531833 to give us a correct answer. Speak to someone at the desk there, give them my name and put your name and details down, and we'll make sure you can contact us during the week and win that giveaway.
Thanks, Mike. Underway for the last quarter in the Centenary Grand Final.
That's the last quarter for the year. The bounce there by umpire Simon wasn't a good one.
Very low.
Collegians straight into attack through the aid of Galbraith, but a wonderful mark taken down there in defence. And it's Tui, a 25-metre penalty against Hoyle. He didn't let him go quickly enough. And the 25-metre penalty goes to Crowe. He plays on with a handball. Over to Rennie. Rennie comes out wide. Lead here from Maloney. The ball bounces in front of him.
Maloney
overruns it.
Bit less than committed to that, Julian, I'm afraid. You had to throw your body at that one, son. You're playing in a grand final after all.
So a boundary throw in right in front of our commentary booth. Thompson tries to come through McCloonan, tries to handball to Maloney, does so. Maloney keeps it in cleverly. Kick off the ground there by Dillon. Perhaps worth a try, but couldn't hook it in. And goes out of bounds on the full. Perhaps Mike, you would have liked to see him get his hands down to that one?
Yes, I would have. I think a few players at the moment are playing a bit conservative. There's nothing left to look after. Your season's over today, fellas, so let's just go hell for leather in this last few minutes.
Marnie to Ronke, who mishandles it off. Free kick here against Galbraith.
Not paid, was it?
It has been.
Yeah, sorry, Doc.
All over the back of
Michael Dillon. So he's made up for his kick out of bounds on the full by throwing his body in first. Well done.
Bennett goes for the mark. Parkin tries to come through. Does take it off. Cleverly evades Crowe there, who came in for the solid bump. Mount come well up the ground once again. Handball's on there towards Proctor, was it?
No, that was young Danny Thompson.
Warner got it on to Thompson, and Thompson only succeeds in finding Danny Smith up there at half-back for De La Salle. He brings it to the wing position. Maloney got the hands on it, well read by Woolhouse, who took it off the back of the pack. Sends it back up towards half-forward. Wallace could have got one over the shoulder at the front of the pack. Coming through is Galbraith. Feeds it on there towards Proctor. Proctor chips it over towards Parkin, and Parkin takes a very good mark. Getting some close attention there from Hegan.
Telling mark.
Plays on towards Thompson. Thompson from 45 metres. Hooks to the top of the square. Off the hands of the pack. De La Salle got a couple of defenders back there. It's Rennie who handballs for the safety of the boundary line and finds it.
Good mark by Parkin back there.
It was a good mark. And a chance there for Collegians, but their tall forwards just couldn't pull the mark down at the top of the goal square. And Peter Rennie clearing it away safely. Boundary throw in. Mount gets the knockdown to Thompson.
Snap.
Thompson a snap on the right foot. One behind, misses to the near side.
Yes, there wasn't much excitement behind the goals then, Dosh. You're pretty safe calling that one early. The Dental Health Services scoreboard moves along to 13-18-96. The Collegians leading De La Salle 6-10-46.
Capped off a wonderful year, Thompson, hasn't he? He's played well in the grand final. It's been a marvellous year of football for him.
Yes, that's what he said at the vote count. He said he just wanted to make that a complete year for himself, and so they look like doing that.
Well, he's
Still
done that.
tied up there at centre half-back.
Played very well, and he's going to be playing a winning grand final side. Collegians in their centenary year.
3.5 minute marks into the last quarter. Bounce down at centre half back.
So a free kick being picked out of a pack here at half forward for Collegians. It's going to their ruckman in Pollock.
Played well today.
Chris Pollock, he has. That's Stuart Hinchin trying to burst his way through half forward, and gets a free kick for getting one too high. So he'll kick from about 50 metres out.
All the play
I
down.
think it'd be too far out for Stewie, as long a kick as he is.
He'd dearly love to kick it.
He certainly would.
He goes for the
He's gone for the
torpedo, and he lets
torpedo.
fly,
Little
gets plenty of distance, but just going across to the far side and goes through for one behind. That might have saved the Collegians players a story or two during the week, I would think.
Oh, for the rest of their life.
Again, distance wasn't the problem, but as soon as you try to kick it that as far as you can, accuracy is the big factor.
Tully kicks out wide. Schober, the big hands of Richard Schober once again get around the red leather, and he chips it in towards Pollock. Chris Pollock has it once again, so they're chipping the ball around a bit. Very congested forward line. There's only about 8 players on the D-Lar half.
All the play down
loose at
Collegians
20
end
metres.
too.
It's like a rugby scrum once again, as it has been for most of the day in a lot of the packs.
Your helicopter's here, Dos, for your trip
Yes,
home.
that's the Channel 2 helicopter, bringing obviously someone down to commentate on the game, I guess.
Big thump there from Tully over the back. McLuhan tried to come through, was dragged off the ball. Campbell tries to get it over to Lowe. Getting some assistance from McLuhan now. Good shepherd there from Campbell. He keeps Parkin or Davidson out of the way. Through comes O'Callaghan with good strength. Good pressure there by Hinton. Forced the kick off the side. Hinchin, I should say. Forced the kick off the side of the boot. Now it's with Schober. Knocks it on to Thompson. Thompson tries to weave his way through the pack. Can't do so. McIntosh tackled him well. Underneath the pack there is Werner. Schober comes up with it. Gets it out to Davidson. Davidson on the left foot. Runs to the 45-metre line, but misses to the near side.
Another point.
There. And another behind. That's their 21st.
Dental Health Services scoreboard at the moment reads 13-20-98 to D-Lar. Sorry, that's Collegians 13-21-99 to D-Lar 6-10-46 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard, and we've been playing 6 minutes into this last quarter.
So Tully kicks in. Proctor takes it off the hand. Bennett, well tackled there by Crow. That's holding the ball. And Crow, who's been a very, very good trier for D-Lar Salle today, will take the free kick. He's worked very hard.
He certainly has. A young player in his first A-section grand final. He's kept his efforts going remarkably high level output today.
Kick. A good kick up towards half forward. Hinchin got one too high, but he got the ball further on towards the wing. They got more run in the league, Collegians. Here's Woolhouse, I should say. Accepts a handball from Proctor. Heavy clash of bodies down there at half forward for Collegians. And the ball eventually goes over the boundary line.
Young Danny Smith courageously put himself in the path of the rampaging Stephen Mount then, and came off a bit worse for wear, but prevented Mount from marking the ball. So well done, Danny.
Throw in.
Oh, well done, Matt Galbraith, then
Galbraith.
taking it out of the ruck himself, and he's fed it off, but intercepted by Brett Marnie, who takes it into the centre of the ground.
Here comes Wright, Andrew Wright for Collegians. Ducks back now in towards the centre. Woolhouse gets a handball to Davidson, who's created some space for himself, who delivers up towards the forward line. Well spoilt by Tully over the back of Thompson. They run it out of defence. Here's Wright, who also been a good player. Another dash from him. Poor handball over. It bounces favourably for Campbell. Picks it up, touches the ball to the ground, gets it onto Wright, who's followed up his work very well. Now he's run into a dead end. Feeds it out there, out towards
Rennie,
who's come up the ground also. Threads in a pass, and a lovely low mark being taken there by O'Callaghan. And that was a good positive movement of the ball, Mike, by D-Lar.
Yeah, that's they took that from one end of the ground to the other.
Sheedy's taken the mark, sorry.
With just a little bit of hesitation over on the far side by Craig Wright when he was running into a pocket and had no one ahead of him to pass the ball off to. Fed it back inside, and then a low pass by Rennie gives Sheedy the shot for goal.
So Grant Sheedy, 45 metres.
Missed it,
Punts
I think.
the goal, but misses to that near side, and one behind.
And while we're waiting for this to come back to
6-11-47.
play, you're listening to this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3.
So back at Elsternwick Park, and the ball's at half back for Collegians. Another wrestle amongst players as 5 or 6 of them pounce on the ball.
Well, certainly, Dos, there's not much going on out there that would suggest Collegians are in any worry about this game at the moment.
No, it's been all one way since half time.
Certainly.
hasn't been a great spectacle, Burnsy, as far as a football game. It's been more like a rugby game at times.
Yes, it certainly has. There's been plenty of rucks and mauls, that's for sure.
Not that Collegians are going to worry about that too much. They've done very well.
Not our, but how far?
Through comes Galbraith.
He's neck.
Tackled there by Dillon. Taken by McCloonan, who takes a shot on the right foot.
And he's missed as well, I think.
And he pushes it across.
He
hasn't.
No.
Got
us wrong there.
He threw me off there, Burnsy. He's kicked a beautiful goal from 40 metres out on the right foot.
I do
and
apologise.
Fred through there 7. So 7 goals, 11, 53.
Speaking on Burnsy's behalf, there the Collegians player did shake the goalpost. Perhaps
Yeah, I
he
saw
thought,
him do that, but I thought it had already gone through on the other side, so I can't even blame the Collegians bloke, unfortunately. I had to
Yeah,
take
I
all
was
the
giving you a get
responsibility.
out there.
I know you were, but I thought, well, I won't take it. I'll let Doss carry on.
13-21-99 Collegians. Lara 7-11-53 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. We're 10 minutes into this last quarter of amateur football for the season. Once again, the ball's on the ground. Players throw themselves at it. Mark Lowe barges his way through and gets it out of the centre. Proctor missed a chest mark that he should have taken.
Dragged up.
Maloney was dragged to the ground there by Woolhouse, and Collegians clear towards the wing. Christian Davidson kicks the ball out in front of him with a turn of speed. Gathers it beautifully, but well chased there by his opponent. It might have been Campbell. And the ball goes up at half forward. Shover tries to come through. He's tackled by Tully. And a throw in is forced. It was Campbell who run down Davidson.
Still a bit of life in Davidson's legs out there, Doss.
yeah, covered a lot of ground very quickly, didn't he? Good young player. Another one from the under-19 state side with a bit of promise for amateur football.
Ball back into play.
Good knock by Ronke. Kicked off the ground by McCloonan. Hinchin heads towards the boundary line and finds it right out there in front of the bowling green wing.
Well, I think it's safe to say that they don't have to attack too much, Collegians, do they? With that sort of total on the board, they just have to run the clock down. It's 11 minutes. It's over in the wet side of the ground where it's difficult to get the ball back in board quickly. Salle are the ones that have to try to get the ball inboard to an attacking position.
Umpires picked out a free kick to Ronke. Looks like he got it out to Marnie. Marnie with a good long kick up to half forward, off the hands of Irvine. Here's Proctor. Oh, sorry, Dillon, I should say. Dillon, a left foot kick for De La Salle.
Couldn't pick it up, and
going
it's been
back
rushed.
was Andrew Wright for Collegians, and happy to concede a minor score.
Well, they can do that for the next 20 minutes. It's not going to worry them at all, is it? Collegians 13-21-99, playing De La Salle 7-12-54, and we're at the 11 and 3/4 minute mark here in the last quarter at VAFA headquarters.
Stuart Hinchin eventually goes for the Lord lead, or is it Proctor as well there? Proctor got the front berth off his hands, and the pack hit it out towards the boundary line.
McCloonan has been a quiet game today, Doc.
Been in and out at certain stages. When he has had the ball, he has looked a little bit dangerous, but he hasn't been as prominent as I'm sure the Salle match committee and coach would have liked. McIntosh, handball. O'Callaghan's handball was read beautifully by Irvine, who intercepted nicely, kicks towards the centre. Oh, beautifully picked up there by Thompson and fed out the handball to Warner. Warner goes up forward and finds Hoyle on the lead. He's got an open goal square. Now they start to scurry back there. Parkin breaks off and tries to take the short kick, but Hoyle, a bit undecided at this stage. Hibbins is loose. He decides against that.
He's going to have a shot by the way
He might have to have a go at it.
I think he was dazzled by having too many options ahead of him. He could have given that off to 3 different players. He's now elected to have a long shot.
So Hoyle
And he's missed. Didn't make the distance.
kicks it across the face of goal. It's in the goal square now. There's a chance for Davidson, who tries to get in there. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Davidson. It was Parkin. Eventually comes out with Craig Wright for De La Salle. A good kick and finds Colin McCloonan at half back for De La. McCloonan looking to play on. He's got Wright. He's made position on the other side, but he comes to the members' side now. Out to McIntosh. McIntosh marks there in front of Warner. 25-metre penalty against... Sorry, it wasn't Warner, it was Proctor. Proctor, who was hanging on. McIntosh goes into the lead of Sheedy. It's a good kick and a good lead, and Sheedy takes it on the chest, and he'll kick from 45 metres out as Parkin comes off the ground. And I think coming on for the first time today is David Kerr, gets his first run in the grand final.
For an interchange system, that's a long time to leave someone on the bench, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to criticise a coach whose side is so far in front of a grand final, but gee, that's a long time for a player to sit on the bench all day in a grand final today when interchange is freely used.
Treaty's kick missed there, and that's gone through another behind. So another behind goes on the Collegians. Mammoths looking behind scoreboard now. Scores here at the 14-minute mark, 13-21-99 to 7-13-55 Collegians. Wide ball back into play.
Kick in from Hinchin, found Irvine. Irvine got it onto Hibbins, who marked. His handball put Wallace under all sorts of pressure.
Good goal.
That race drags down Dillon. Now the ball comes out. Ronke's got it now, out to McIntosh. McIntosh, 60 metres out. Kicks towards the lead of Malone. Oh, sorry, Fraser it was, who takes a lovely mark low to the ground. A good test mark in front of Stewie Hinchin. And Fraser will kick from about just outside 40 metres, and he should kick it from here.
Be a chance, wouldn't he?
Looking for their 8th goal. 7-13-55. 13-21-99 Collegians on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. As Nick Fraser stands over this one. Plenty of concentration. Comes in over 45 and kicks, bends around, but straight through the middle. A beautiful kick from Nick Fraser, and he kicks his 3rd goal for the afternoon.
13-21, plays 7-13, and you're tuned to Southern Sport 88.1 FM. Hey. That should have been
88.3, Burnsy.
Yes, I was thinking of my old radio station, but that's another story.
Good.
Back in the centre.
Back in the centre, and as I said, Fraser 3. The other multiple goal kickers in the game. Schober has 6 for Collegians, and Stephen Mount has 3.
Been a free kick in the middle.
Free kick, a holding free kick against Pollock. He's been a very good player in the ruck for them today. Goes out wide. Here's Hoyle at the back of the pack, but coming through is Rennie. Good turn of speed from him as he kicks it up on the left foot, only to find David Kerr, who gets the cheers from the Collegians crowd as he gets his first kick in the grand final. It's not a bad one either, as he tried to find Schober on the lead. Spilt the chest mark low to the ground. Ball's now in a pack. Here he goes. He goes in again, David Kerr. And they all dive on it now, and about 5 or 6 players.
Looked a very tired Richard Schober reaching down low for that mark from the pass from Kerr. I think he would have snavelled it early in the game, but he's certainly done his side proud with his performance so far, Schober.
He has. He was always going to be a key player in the game, and he's lived up to that. He's kicked 6 goals and produced the form we know he's capable of in these big matches. As 16 3/4 minutes have ticked over in this final quarter, and it's the last rights for both sides out here. We've got 12 or 13 minutes to play in the grand final. Galbraith kicks it over the shoulder.
Big mark.
Big leap there from Tully.
And Tully's played very well
hard.
since he's gone back there. So he's played very well indeed. One a resolute defender, and played a sole lone hand back there at times.
Kicked it to Danny Smith, who momentarily lost his footing but regained his composure. Mark Hibbins missed what he should have taken. McIntosh now handballs it further afield. Here comes Mark Lowe, who chips it over towards Michael Hegan, and he's found him. So Hegan slowing play down half back. Umpire Richard Simon calling time on there, but Ronke took the mark and played on and kicks it to centre half back, but he's found only James Bennett, I think, the Collegian skipper.
Jimmy's played a great second half. I commented he was a bit quiet the first half, but his second half has been superb.
Thompson takes a courageous mark, feeds it out to Woolhouse, who gets it on there towards Proctor. Proctor goes up the half forward. Mount, well spoilt by Tully, who has the chance to get it here. Tackled now by Mount. The ball goes to ground low, hits it further along the boundary line. Here's Proctor again, getting support from Hibbins, who was doing the shepherding for it. The ball loose now on the wing position, and Chris Pollock paddles it for the boundary line, and he'll go back and contest the result and throw in.
6 players getting up from the turf then. It was a clash of bodies there close to the boundary line in front of the stand.
So there's some very tired players. This game now peters out. It's going to be Collegians here. No question about that. 13-21-99. D-Lar 8-3-61 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. And the throw-in just in front of the hill, member side of the ground. Thompson got plenty of possessions today. He's hurt his ankle, I think, in a previous clash when he took that courageous mark. And he won't worry too much about that, I wouldn't think, as the mark's been taken by Peter Rennie for D-Lar Salle. Kicks towards the wing position. Maloney got one too high. Umpire Wayne Hinton said takes the free kick. Maloney's kick into the forward line. The lead was from Sheedy. Here's Fraser now on the left foot. Tries for the miracle from there, but it was had pressure put on him by Andrew Wright, and only succeeds in putting it over the boundary line on the full.
Kick back into play by by Collegians, sorry.
Up towards half back, the big fly from Lord and Maloney. Kicked away there by Hoyle, out in front of Galbraith. Galbraith and Hegan, 2-on-1. Hegan battles with two Collegians players. Here's Kerr, the fresh legs, has a chance to run with it, takes one bounce. Now handballs inside to Thompson. Thompson gets it further inside towards Wallace. There's no forwards back there, they've all got to charge back. Schober goes back, but it falls into the safe hands of Stephen Mount, who was just running back and decided to turn around and stand there, put the hands up and says thank you very much.
How many's he kicked so far, Dos? Mounty?
He's kicked three, lining up for his fourth, so he's been a valuable contributor. And he did miss a few early on in the game.
It's true.
Some set shots as he kicks this
Kicked
time.
that one, I think.
As he don't think it swung back enough. No, it hasn't.
Only
One behind, so they kick their 22nd. 13-22, they've brought up their century. 100. Delar 8-13-61 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard. We're nearly 21 minutes into this last quarter.
And you're listening to this broadcast on Southern FM 88.3.
So D. Larsell have worked the ball up into their half-forward line on the outer side of the ground in this last quarter. Boundary throw in 45 metres out.
Right in front of the Dental Health Services marquee.
Pollock and O'Callaghan do battle. Hinchin handballs it out. Here's gets caught. Kerr. Now it's with Rennie, who's up the ground with Mount. Here's Crow. Crow on the left foot for De La Salle. Off the hands of the pack. Hell without the ball was Irvine there. Umpire hasn't seen that one. Now it's with Fraser on the 45 metre line. He centres it to the middle, top of the square.
Good mark.
And a mark taken there by Grant Sheedy, I think. It is. So a good centering kick there from Fraser under pressure. And a goal will result, I would think, as Sheedy will kick from 15 metres out at the Glen Huntley Road end. Something smells pretty nice in the background.
Yes, I think the umpire's traditional barbecue spit roast is cooking away there. The smells are wafting up to the broadcast point.
22 and a half minutes with that goal. De La Salle go to 9-13 against Collegians, leading the pack 13-22-100 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard.
So Sheedy kicks his first goal for the game. And we're certainly playing our time. It's been a wonderful year for Collegians.
Certainly the best side all year, don't you think, Dos?
Well, they have been, and you and I, Burnsy, the good judges, Mike, in
Well,
true to form, the kiss of death.
I have, and I'll be very popular at D-Lard, no doubt. Great skill by Collegians. They've shown it with their foot and hand passing today, and some of their marking has been superb. Very skilled side. It's all tied up in the centre of the ground. That bounce got nowhere, and so umpire Wayne Hinton will have to move in and bounce this ball right on the centre square circle again.
Even Wayne Hinton showing the signs of a long day of bounce. He decides to throw it up on this occasion right in the centre circle. It's Galbraith, weaves his way through and kicks a torpedo punt kick up towards the forward line, and the mark's been taken there by Hibbins, who's gone down there in the forward line for a bit of a spell late in the game, and he takes the mark out in front. I think it might be Campbell, the player he took that in front of, and he'll take a shot from 40 to 45 metres out. Mark Hibbins, and has been a stalwart of the Collegians club. Comes in, struggles to make the distance. The ball loose now in the goal square, but Danny Smith picks it up for De La Salle and runs it out to the back pocket and kicks to half back, but a nice mark being taken there by Nick Proctor on the half forward flank. Pumps it back into the Collegians forward line. And plenty of high flyers. Rennie got higher than most and knocked it to the ground. Craig Wright has trouble getting a handle on the ball, and eventually it's forced over a throw in right on the point post in front of the scoreboard, the Dental Health Services scoreboard, which reads Collegians 13-22 100, DLR 9-13-67, and we're just about entering time on as it's off the hands of the pack here. A quick snap there from I think it might have been Pollock. Off the hands of the DLR players, and they were happy to force it through for a behind. So John Cully to bring the ball back into play. Oh, it's a poor kick though, and only finds Mark Hibbins. So Hibbins this time will have another shot. No, Mounts made some space. Kick not too good. Gives it straight back to De La Salle. And away they come again. It's been Crow. Crow took the mark, followed up beautiful. It was Tui, I should say. Tui now gets it over towards Rennie. Rennie gets it to Craig Wright. Craig Wright now kicks up towards half forward. Off the hands of Irvine. Marnie try to kick in mid-air. Woolhouse cleverly feeds it out to Lord. Lord gives a good handball out to Bennett, and they can clear the ball away as it goes out to Christian Davidson. Davidson a left foot kick. Oh, he's found Hoyle on the wing with plenty of space. And the game slowed down to a walk, or De La Salle at present have slowed to a walk as Collegians go forward up towards Danny Thompson. It was well tackled out there, but there's support for Thompson with Schober picking the ball up. Hibbins now snaps over on the left foot, can't get it to Mount, and punched away by John Tully, who has been a very hard-working and desperate defender for De La Salle all day today.
Well, the Collegians certainly turned that attack around pretty quickly, Dos.
Yes, yeah, they created some space, and Hoyle, got 20 or 30 metres clear on his own there, and Davidson with a good kick to him, transferred it to him on the wing, and they worked it forward as we see a throw-in in the boundary line. Comes out about 30 metres out, right in front now of the Collegians goal. It's been forced. 5 or 6 players around the pack. Kerr tried to force his way through and kick a goal in the grand final. But once again, players go to ground with the ball.
Into time on now, 26, nearly 27 minute mark.
Only succeed.
The Collegians have peppered the goals again, but they've only kicked 5 points in this last quarter, Dos.
They have, and 3 goals been kicked by De La Salle. So you're right, we're never going to lie down, De La Salle, and they've worked very hard right to the very end. But they were just outclassed early on in this match, and they've managed to have a good third quarter also, Collegians.
Craig Wright running off with the ball again. Characteristic run of Wright.
Well done by Christian Davidson. He intercepts the kick to Schober. Schober goes in short, and he finds Warner.
Could be the goal.
Some latitude there.
Maybe the goal that they have been searching for this 27 and a half minutes, because they haven't kicked one for being so far on top at three-quarter time. They've kicked 5 points only, with Warner lining up on about a 45-degree angle. He's got to run through some pretty heavy going to have this shot for goal. Need to concentrate on dropping the ball straight.
So Darren Warner, I think he hit the post with a kick, but umpire Wayne Hinton has spotted something there that someone was too close to him kicking it or gone over the mark, so he decided to hand it to him on a plate.
It certainly has.
The 8 over 25 metre penalty. So Darren Warner would come now about a metre out, or right on the goal line, and will not miss, I wouldn't think.
And under the new rule, of course, he doesn't have to maintain that angle. He can come directly out in front, and so this must be a goal.
And it is.
And it is.
Goes for the torpedo.
Compliments of that 25 metre has given Warner the goal they were searching for. They've kicked 1 goal 5 for the quarter to go to 14-23, 107 on the Dental Health Services scoreboard, leading De La Salle and marching to victory in this A-section grand final. De La Salle 9-13-67.
Well, there's plenty of smiles on the Collegian supporters' faces. They're celebrating already, and we're now 29 minutes into this last quarter.
And we have run over broadcast time, of course, and I'm very thankful to people back at the studio who are grateful enough to give us this extra time, so thank you for that. There can't be much time left in the game. 29-minute mark ticking away. We'll wrap this up pretty quickly as soon as the siren is over.
So Richard Simon bounces the ball in the centre, perhaps for the last time, as comes out towards Hoyle. Hoyle's tackled there by McIntosh. Mount tries to feed it out towards Proctor. Proctor now traps it nicely. Tries to screw it round on the right foot, but good pressure from right. But the ball goes out on the full. But there it is, the final siren in the 1992 A-Section Grand Final, and the final score, Collegians 14-23-107 have defeated De La Salle 9-13-67 by 40 points in this centenary year, and congratulations to Lee Carlson, the Collegians players and the Collegians club on a fantastic victory here at Elsternwick Park this afternoon.
And that is the double today. They won the reserves as well, so well done to the Collegians club, the oldest club in the VAFA in their 100 years, and indeed their 100 years of the VAFA. They've taken off the double in 1992 and will well remember this year. The final scores, as mentioned, 14-23-107 Collegians to De La Salle 9-13-67. Best players, Dos, well, you picked some from the De La side. I thought from the Collegian side it was pretty obvious that Richard Show was best man on the ground with his 6 goals. Danny Thompson was an outstanding player around the ground. I think Matt Galbraith also contributed on the ball wonderfully well. Tony Parkin came off exhausted in the finish, but gee, he played well today, Parkin.
Especially early on, I thought he was
very
effective.
Some great skill and great poise from some young players.
Christian Davidson didn't have a
Christian
bad game.
Davidson's second half particularly shows big promise for the future. Chris Pollock in the ruck battled on and really gave his side some drive, and with some intercepting marking across the half-back line. For De La, who was your better player?
They didn't have any real star players on the day, but they had some real gallant tries and guys who gave their all, as did most of them. But Craig Wright, I thought, gave them plenty of drive and gave them plenty of dash and never stopped trying and never stopped running. Damien Crowe was always in the clinches and fighting very hard and using body on body, and he fought very, very hard and was a good player for them. Brett Marnie, who playing perhaps a game or two short, or not having as much football as he would have liked over the season, but he battled very hard and got the ball out of the centre, and got the ball out of the centre for them on a few occasions. John Tully was terrific in defence. He was against all odds down there with the height of some of those Collegians forwards, but he battled on very hard. And Andrew Ronke in the ruck, I thought, also had to battle against the likes of Schober and Mount and Pollock, who played well for Collegians, and he too tried very hard and was a reasonable player for them.
I'll just run through the goal kickers for the Collegian side. 6 goals to Richard Schober, 3 goals to Stephen Mount, 2 goals to Mark Hibbins, and singles to David Hoyle, Matt Galbraith and Darren Warner. To the De La side, we had 3 goals to Nick Fraser, 2 to Cole McCloonan, 1 to Julian Maloney, 1 to Pat O'Callaghan, 1 to Grant Schutte, and 1 to Michael Dillon. Just to wrap it up, the final scores of the VAFA Grand Final was 14-23-107 Collegians, winning over De La Salle 9-13-67. You'll notice, gentlemen, only 40 points difference at the finish, 50 points at three-quarter time. So I did suggest to you that gap wouldn't widen, in fact it would narrow, and that's exactly what it did.
That's called clutching at straws.
Well, I'd have to grab something today because you two have picked the winner.
Yes.
I want to thank Southern FM for their cooperation with this broadcast today, to our 3 major sponsors, Vic Health, Dental Health Services and RACV Insurance, who have provided the necessaries to put this production together. For our technical crew, we have Wayne Steele, a technical whiz kid behind us here, pulling all the right buttons, soldering up the right wires. He's been marvellous all day. Thanks to Wayne. David Bogue back at the studio, and to Darryl Pittman, who's been a tower of strength making sure this broadcast got to air. We thank him, and we thank everybody at Southern FM.
And Michael Chevello.
Michael Chevello at ground level has been a terrific commentator for us and a supporter of amateur football. I'm rushing a bit because I want to get back to the studio because I know there's people back there anxious to put their shows to air. I want to thank this year my fellow commentators, Graham Burns, who's anchored the show every week, didn't miss one for the entire year, a perfect record.
Great pleasure.
And we've enjoyed his comments and his elucidation on some of his favoured B-section sides. He had 8 sides going in B-section and still didn't get the winner.
I didn't have 8 sides going.
And I want to also compliment Mark Anderson, who is a busy man at the MCC with his cricket commitments and his professional requirements there. He's made it on as many times as he possibly could. We've welcomed him when he's been present. We've welcomed him today. A great call of the
Lovely
game,
call,
Mark.
Boss. Brilliant.
Yeah, didn't draw a breath today, and I hardly missed a player or an umpiring decision. Well done to both of you.
Thanks,
Mike. Mike MacArthur-Allen at Elsternwick Park, returning you to the studios of Southern FM, which has brought to you today the direct broadcast of this historic Grand Final, the VAFA Centenary Year Grand Final, won in fine style by Collegians. Remember, you have listened to this, and this broadcast has been brought to you from Southern FM 88.3.
but
Very well done, fellas. Very well done. Well done, Doc. Go around.
Officials of Collegians. I'll ask them to come forward one by one to receive the delegation from David again. The President of Collegians, the man who's been worrying right from the wee small hours of this morning, Rob Webster. Where are you, Rob? The Secretary of Collegians, who's done a power of work this year, and she's been congratulated, Liz Hudson. Well done, Liz. And the hard-working treasurer of the club, Alex McKenzie. Alex. Few boos for Alex. I'll go through the players in alphabetical order, leaving the captain and the coach to last. First player to receive his medal, Jason Danzy. Jason. Christian Davidson. Former 8 section best affairs winner, Matt Galbraith. On the Matty. Chaplain's had a great final series. 2 great games at Elsternwick Park. Mark Hibbett, well marked. Mr. Reliable on the back line, Stewie Hitchin. Stewie. Number 2, David Hoyle. On David. Gary Irvine. On Gaz. David Kerr. Kerry. Number 40, Andrew Lord. Number 1, David Mount. Number 44, Tony Parkin. On time. Chris Pollock. Number 75, Nick Proctor. Great game today from the next guy. 6 goals, I think it was. Rick Schober. All right, Rick. Been a great year for the next fella. A lot of accolades this year. Number 32, Danny Thompson. Number 16, Tony Wallace. Tony. Number 56, Darren Warner. Number 3, Brad Woolhouse. And number 23, Andrew Wright. And can I ask both of these guys to come forward together, please, to receive, first of all, their medallion. The captain of Collegians in their centenary year, 1992 premiers, the captain, Jimmy Bennett, and the coach, Lee Carlson. I'll hand over to David Scott. David Scott, the President, to first of all present the Adamson Cup, the Perpetual Trophy, and then the Sharon Cup, which stays the property of Collegians for the next 100 years.
Thanks, Phil. On behalf of the DAFA, I'd like to first and foremost thank all the amateur supporters who turned out here in great numbers. We're thrilled with the fact that the Sunbreakers crew would have attributed that, but we're thrilled with the response. And I'm sure the players participating today were really encouraged by the fact that we had so many people here to witness this very special day, the 1992 and centenary A-grade premiership. To both sides, I think they put on a tremendous exhibition of amateur football. I'd like to thank, first and foremost, of course, the De La Salle Club, the runners-up for the 1992 season, to Ralph McHenry, the president, Bernie Dunn, the coach, and number 33, Peter Rennie, the captain of DLA. I'm sure that most people here in the second semi-final to see Peter Rennie carried to the ground would not have expected to see him take the field today. Of course, this is what amateur football is all about, the courage and determination, the dedication of the players we have in there. Peter Rennie is a true indication of that. Well done, Peter. To the victors, Collegians Football Club, I made a statement earlier in the year, tongue in cheek a bit, it would be quite fitting to see Collegians come out to be the 1992 seniors in this centenary year, and a lot's been written about the centenary and the Collegians Football Club being the only surviving club in our amateur ranks. And also, I know it's a very, very special day for Rob Webster and Lee Carlson, Jimmy, and all the players and supporters of Collegians to win this trophy, the L.A. Addison Trophy, named after the very first person of this association, also a Collegian person, of course, from Western College. I think it's very fitting that I have the very great pleasure to present this, the 1992 Premiership Trophy to Jim Bennett, captain of Collegians. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is the perpetual trophy, and as Phil said, along with that, for the keeping by Collegians, the Sheridan Trophy, presented or donated each year by the Sheridan Company to this association, to the A-grade premiers. And I know this will take quite a place down at Harry Trott for many, many years. Well done, fellas. Congratulations. Thanks very much for those words. I like to keep you long, Firstly, to Bernie Dunn and his players, congratulations on reaching the grand final, and I think to make it a worthy final for us, a worthy premiership, we felt that we had to play the second best side in the competition, and we certainly feel that you were that, and congratulations on your performance, not only today but throughout the season to get here. There are two or three people I'd like to mention. Firstly, to a guy who made a very tough decision on behalf of the Collegians Footy Club 2 years ago, before my appointment, and the feeling was that the club needed a new coach, and to pay special tribute to this man, Clint Hickson, who I feel had the courage to make that decision. I thank him for giving me the opportunity and the support over the last 2 years, and he's been fantastic. At the same time, I think I'm smart enough to realise that there was a lot of hard work put in before the 2 seasons that I was at the club, and I'd like to... President of DLA, Ralph McHenry, would like to say a few words. Ralph. Thanks, Phil. Firstly, on behalf of the old Collegians Football Club, I'd like to offer our heartiest congratulations to old Collegians. To win three times in the space of 5 weeks, I think speaks volumes of the quality of your side, and it was a magnificent performance. Congratulations. Make sure you enjoy it tonight. I've no doubt you will. I'd also like to commiserate with our guys. On the day, we were certainly not good enough, but I can say that there's one thing that will be certain, that we can all expect, is that the Villadell Collegians Football Club will be back, bigger and stronger again next year, and we will certainly have a quieter night tonight, and I'm sure it'll be a good night. But look, the reason I'd like to speak here today is because I think that as an amateur follower for many, many years and a player, I think it's very important that all the people here today wish the VAFA in its centenary year the best. Phil Stevens, Mike McCartwell and Sue Anderson and all the crew have done a wonderful job this year. I think it would be remiss of us if we weren't to congratulate those guys and those ladies on a wonderful year this year. Fantastic effort from them all. And finally, to our coach Bernard Dunn, a fantastic effort this year, Bern, in fairly adverse circumstances. It's been a tough year. We've had a lot of people leave the club in this year, and we've gone the hard way. But congratulations to you, Bernard, and I'm sure we can take you next year. Thanks very much, Phil. Just on behalf of all the players and collegians, I think we owe a lot of thanks and gratitude to Carso. The last 2 years since you've come down, you've put your heart and soul into the club, and we're very, very proud of all your efforts, and we'd like to thank you very much for coaching of us for the last couple of years. And also, I know as the loud blokes are feeling, we've been in that position before. I can only say well done on getting this far, and thanks very much for all your games throughout the year. I'm sure you'll be back next year, and we look forward to playing games again in the coming future. And to our blokes, well, best bunch of blokes I've ever played with in my entire life. A lot of people say that, but I'm going to say it anyway. And we've been very committed, not only in the seniors, but in the second, the C grade, under 19, the whole club right throughout. And I think on behalf of all the players, I'd like to thank the committee, president, and all our supporters for great effort throughout the years for supporting us and being right behind us all the years. We've got a gym, and the setup down the club's just been superb. Players really respect that, and that's great. In fact, a couple of our players have been that committed that Slugger and Ruder, they gave up the amber liquid several months ago, so I really don't want to get in their way tonight after even one drink. But it's going to be a big night tonight, and well done, boys. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Louis. That just about winds it up. I'm sure that the Collegians boys might like to do one more little run around. Mountie does anyway, so Mountie and Lee can do a lap. Put a big hand for D-Lar as they leave the ground. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for making a great year. Thank you, umpires. And can I take this opportunity of thanking everybody who has contributed to make this centenary season a great success. Thank you one and all. See you back in 1993.
Very close. Hey, Rachel, probably hasn't heard yet, has he? Rachel.